What's happening, guys? Just before we start this week's episode, I want to let you know, if you love this podcast and you want more of it, you can get an extra episode every single week exclusively on patreon.com/haveawordpod. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's basically a way for you to financially support this podcast whilst also getting some benefits for yourself in return. You can sign up for £3 a month, £5 a month, £10 a month, and obviously the more money you give, the more benefits you get. But even if you just sign up for that £3 a month, which is the price of a fancy coffee or a pint in a shit boozer, you get an extra episode every single week, exclusive. No one else gets to see it apart from the Patreons. And you also get 24 to 48 hours early access to the public episodes as well. That's what you get. And on top of all of that, you get access to the entire back catalogue of the Patreon episodes. We've been doing that for like a year now. There's loads of content there. There's also the 2 lockdown lock-ins we did in this room where we got dead drunk. They only go on Patreon. The ones we do in the future of them will only go on Patreon. If you support us, you get shitloads of content for us, and you can only get it at patreon.com/haveawordpod. Go sign up now. Pause it here, sign up, and then come back to this episode. It's going to be a belter. What's your book? What book have you got?
Oh, it's a really good read.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's called How to Not Break Your £300 Air Conditioning Unit.
Oh, is it the aircon manual?
I'm struggling to get into it.
Jesus Christ, it's like a novel.
Yeah, and we haven't read any of it and turn the fucker on. You know he's got ADHD, and I lean on it a bit because he's got bad ADHD. I've defo got a bit of ADHD, and Carl and Finn, none of us are details people, and we just stuck the aircon on.
Dan, what's the source of air that we're using to chill
this
the
aircon
studio?
unit that we've got comes with a big air funnel pipe thing.
Yeah.
And the only page of that we've read is the page that says, make sure this goes out of a window.
Yeah, we can't do a window. Can't do a window.
Doesn't work logistically.
Sound, not willing to compromise.
Nope.
So where's that pipe currently heading?
We've hid it behind a curtain.
No, but where is the pipe heading to?
I mean, it's still in the room, really. It's just
into the-
slightly behind a curtain.
It's in the corridor, isn't it?
But yeah, there's double doors.
Yeah, but yeah.
And then the corridor.
Yeah. It's in the corridor. You know the science block where they're trying to like cure Ebola and AIDS and bumhole flu and stuff?
We don't know any of that. We're just guessing. We've seen scientists and gone, probably really exciting. It's probably not. But now we're probably going to be pumping cold Ebola. Sniff it up, boys. I think I just got ice cold malaria. Oh, and it's nice.
As long as I'm cool, I couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Can you get slightly chilly airborne AIDS? AIDS? What?
Why can't you?
What?
That's not bad.
What?
They can't say wah, can they?
Wow.
What? 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 What did I say? I said AIDS wrong.
That's closer.
What?
It's a scouse.
No, it's wah. You need the in the middle.
Wah.
Wah.
What's up?
Try and do
Remember
it.
that from the advert? That was
right,
great.
No. You know the way you do my voice where you're like, I will fuck you in the arsehole with my erect penis. When you do my voice.
Jimmy innuendo.
Say
Right,
what?
so just talk to me a sec as in your scouse.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing.
Sam Avery.
I'm doing the fat controller. Thomas was a naughty little cunt.
2 minutes 20 demonetized.
Shiz.
Go on, talk to me.
I will talk to you.
No,
in what?
in a Scouse accent.
Yeah. So, which one? What? No.
It's like Bulgarian.
What?
Borat.
What? Fucking lad.
So
Lad.
for those,
I have to start with lad.
yeah. So for those non-Scousers who listen wondering whether we've all had the same stroke this morning, the other day me and Carl were talking about something, and I went what, and Carl was like what,
and then
Dan went what.
What? What is this?
So Carl can't do a Scouse wart. Dan can't do a Scouse wart. So we're trying to get him there. So repeat after me. Michael Jordan was a basketball player.
Michael Jordan was a fucking basketball player, lad.
Michael Owen is a gobshite who played for Real Madrid and Man United.
Michael Owen is a boring fucking gobshite that played for Real Madrid, Manchester United, and fucking Newcastle, lad.
Ice skating is for gimps.
Ice skating is for fucking gimps, lad.
What?
What? What is this?
You're like Chandler who can't smile.
I think it is the airborne AIDS. It's in the air.
Je m'appelle. Je m'appelle Footy Flu.
What?
Joey Barton in Marseille. How you say what? Joey, how is it being in Marseille? It is really, really good. I like playing in midfield and punching children and women in the face. Allegedly.
Never saw that press conference.
That was a different one. Just want to let you know.
You've seen Joey Barton a couple of weeks ago.
I haven't had any breakfast and I've had 2 energy drinks, so I'm feeling a little bit weird.
We seen Joey Barton a couple of weeks ago. He was on the table next to us in Salt Dog Slims, and he looked at me at one point, and I went, "Listen, lad, I'll fucking punch you and your entire family's head, and if you don't look away now." And he looked away.
But did you say that in the look, or did you actually say it out loud?
I said it out loud.
He
said, "Listen, Joey, fucking look at me."
Yeah.
Because he looked away after like 5 seconds, so I had to get him back.
And Joey Barton, famously diminutive character, heard that, saw that people had seen it, and then went, "Oh God, fucking hell," like that. Just turned away.
No, one of his mates went.
Do you know what he is, lad?
And he went, "Fucking Rowie bags me. Can't be fucking starting with bags in here."
If you didn't quite hear what Adam said then, he said it's so weirdly quiet and just far enough away from the mic that it sounded really sinister, like, "Oh, fucking Joey bags me. Oh, fucker." What? Joey Barton went, "What?"
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, he was there. Looked old, doesn't he? Do you notice that when we seen him?
Yeah, but he's one of them men who got
2 years younger than me.
He's gone
he looks
grey
older than
well.
you.
He's gone grey well though, which is what I want to do.
I think I was talking to my barber the other day, and I was like, because recently we've spoke about the fact some of our mates losing their hair.
Oh yeah,
Some of our mates, their
quite a
hair's
few of
going.
them. Not in a good way either.
Yeah.
Not in a Zidane.
Not even in a Dan Nightingale. I've decided I'm losing my hair, so I'm committing to it and making it look like a decision stuff. Like just in a sort of, I'll just comb it over,
Oh, yeah.
and I've got half as much hair as I need, and if I spread that out, people will think I've still got my hair. Yeah.
Everybody knowing.
So
There's a guy in Manchester when I started comedy that had this thing that was like, I think was all his hair, but it was just like, I think like PVC glue, hairspray, and it had just like been plasticked onto his fucking bonds. And everyone just ignored it because it was just so bad you couldn't be like, what's that? What is that? It looked like it needed peeling off. I'm like, you need to burn that.
It's mad that Gandhi quote in it. As I was saying that, I realised how ridiculous it was going to sound. But I think it's Gandhi.
Go on.
It's it might be the Dalai Lama. I often do get them confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah, poor. Because the Dalai Lama's
Strong one. Go on.
Different people, innit?
The Dalai Lama's like James Bond, innit?
Yeah,
When
he's
one of
new.
them's done, they just give
Idris
another
Elba.
guy a go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Dalai Lama isn't like...
It's like the Pope.
No, it's
innit?
not. It's
like
not
the Pope.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not D Lama. Yeah, Mr.
Dave
D,
Lama.
Mr. Dave Lama, Mr. D Lama won Nepal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Dalai Lama. It's like,
Yeah, he's the James Bond of
like-
that world.
he's the Dalai Lama is the James Bond of that world.
What is that world? What does Dalai Lama talk about?
I just know it's not here.
Buddhism and Nepal
Is it
and
Buddhism, yeah?
Yeah, just like mountain Buddhists.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So he sits on a hill, basically
They're like
going,
good-
here's
they're
what
good
I
ones.
think, and everyone just pretends that he's important,
Right.
essentially.
Yeah, summed it up.
That's about right, isn't it?
I think that's basically Buddhism is like, that's bad, isn't it? Why don't you ever sit down and think? Thinking's hard, isn't it? Just clear that out of your head then. Just have a sit down. Just chill out. Think about nothing. Will that solve the world's problems? Yeah, if everyone does it.
Adam
Yeah.
just plays FIFA instead. Think about nothing, I'll just play FIFA.
But
That is what
either
it's like.
Gandhi, the
Trying to get
Dalai
a higher
Lama,
state.
or Madonna.
Said-
One of those three
Or Madonna, yeah.
said something like,
Who's
"It's
the
mad,
James
innit?"
Bond of music one.
They said it's
Mad, innit?
Yeah.
Proper mad that.
Said, what?
said it's mad, innit? Man spends
Man spends.
Man like London man? Or man, like... Bible man.
Man spends fucking time doing shit to his hair, man. Is that the Dalai Lama?
London man.
These rollmen fucking rolling up with their fucking weird bonds.
He said,
Man needs
man
to accept them shiny status, isn't it?
spends his whole life getting haircuts, and then he's like, fucking hell, I've lost my hair. It's like, well, don't fucking cut it off then. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah. I don't think you are. I think you might be adding words to it because it seemed meaty. Yeah. He's really bothered about haircuts, the Dalai Lama.
Don't know he's bald, isn't he?
No, but it's meant to be philosophical, innit? It shows how stupid man is. Because man...
Man is stupid, yeah.
Man is stupid, isn't it?
Like, we do cut our hair off, don't we? And then we're like fuming and it's not growing anymore. We should save our hair.
And we should say I'm getting my hairs cut.
You mean save it just on your head, like the Sikhs?
Just put it in a bag and then when you start going bald, just...
Gluing it back.
Yeah.
Doing what my man did all them years ago. Still doing it.
Man loves that.
Man.
Yeah, I was talking to my barber and I was like, I'm a few of my mates are going bald and I'm starting to panic about it. And he went, honestly, lads, you'll be fine. He said, you're going to go grey. And he said, I reckon you're going to go grey like 40-ish.
Genuinely, having been through it, can I have a look? Can I have a look?
Yeah.
Right. These are the giveaway areas. What should I use here? These are the giveaway areas. Strength. That is strong. Oh! Strong. Yeah, let me turn around. You're fine, kid. You're all right. You're doing all
Neither
right.
of us are going bald, Adam.
Yeah.
We're nearly 30. Look at us.
No, you're all right.
And Finn's got a
I'd
car.
love to just be like
There's
a
some
proper
strong
silver fox.
fucking hairline.
Yeah, I want to be like George Lammy.
I was thinking more like Philip Schofield, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He's had his time in.
And then come out as gay.
Yeah.
First thing I thought of with Philip Schofield.
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 No, like George Lamb. He's a good looking kid, isn't he? We could,
Who's
Wayne
George
Lineker.
Lamb? TV presenter.
Yeah. Channel
Wayne
4.
Lineker. Just go to IB for and just start jizzing on
Gary
one of the
Lineker.
Allegedly.
Sorry for stepping all over your jizz bit there, Adam. Stupidly thought you're done with the old Lineker references, but no. Gary Lineker looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Handsome chap, Gary Lineker.
and he's gone the old silver fox way. Obviously George Clooney.
Oh, George Lamb, that's him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you'll be able to pull that off as well because you've got like you've got a bit of wavy thin hair, haven't you?
Yeah, man.
My hair's dead thick. I can't do that.
Yeah, I think you'll go more Claudio Ranieri.
Have a look.
I would honestly. If Claudio Ranieri was on Cameo,
I am the king.
right now,
I am the king.
right now, I need you to check if Claudio Ranieri's on fucking Cameo because I want Claudio Ranieri to go. Wow!
Have a look. The Cameo.
Come on, Cameo.
So stupid.
Come on, Cameo. Come on, Claudio. I am ready. It's nearly the end of the month. Patreon money's coming in. Let's fucking waste some of it. Oh, Claudio Ranieri. Ah.
Got Claudio wrong there. No, that's right.
No, it's right. He's not on it.
Oh.
It's not a surprise, really, is it? Osama bin Laden.
Seen if he's on there.
Osama bin Laden, is he on Cameo? That'd be a big giveaway, wouldn't it, that he was still alive? All his advisors like, Osama, everyone thinks you're dead. Don't go on Cameo. He's like, but lad, what? There's so much money in it. And they'd be like, Osama, why are you Japanese? I don't know. It's because I'm hiding.
It's because I'm hiding. A well-known Japanese trait.
No one can see yet if he's talking in Japanese. Oh my god, the Anna Snake fella's on there.
Hiding, like most Japanese people do.
Look
Not
at that.
Tom Cruise.
Imagine getting an impersonation of someone who's not the person.
Oh my God, Gilbert Gottfried's on Cameo from £131.
Yeah.
He's the parrot from Aladdin.
Why are you excited by that?
Because Aladdin's the best.
131 quid. You don't even know what his face looks like. You know.
Bahrainian nights.
Yeah, the most expensive comics.
Bahrainian days.
Rhys
James, 750 quid.
Fuck
He's taking
off,
the piss, isn't he?
Rhys James.
He's taking the piss.
You better be. Right, put Adam on Cameo right now.
Stefano was 375.
That's too much.
Chrissy
Chris.
D. Chrissy D. We like wasting money, but not that much.
The most expensive is DC Young Fly.
Right, we need to set Adam up on Cameo.
Okay.
I just do them for free. I'm a man of the people. Do you know what I mean? If it's your birthday and you want me to say hello, then just message me and I'll say hello. Know what I mean?
But you're not having both of us because I'm busy reading air conditioning unit manuals.
I think the most
What did you
expensive-
just say on a public episode, motherfucker? Everybody got a birthday.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why I don't do Cameo. Right, here's why I don't do Cameo. Carl, right, you ready?
Yeah.
Because, first of all, I don't like charging for something like that because it takes like 10 seconds. And secondly, if I forget or I can't be asked, which are both possible, then if you haven't paid, I can just tell you to fuck off.
good. Message Adam if you've got a birthday coming up, and if he's not in the mood, or if he's going 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, or if I'm pestering about advertisers, he will tell you to fuck off in a text message form. And that's your birthday treat. There's two levels.
What? Maybe I'll set up on Cameo. I'll get like the lads here to set me up on Cameo, right? And I'll charge 200 quid. And if you give me 200 quid, I'll defo do it. But like, if you just message me, then I'll probably do it anyway.
Hey, Holler, I'm a circuit comedian. I haven't done a tour yet. If you give me 200 quid, I'll come and do a gig at your house. That's how that'll go. It will be fucking way more awkward than a Cameo when I turn up like, you're right, I will work for fucking cash in hand.
The most expensive soccer player is... Oh, it's Avram Grant. Who's paying 750 quid for Avram Grant?
Avram
Roger
Grant.
Miller, that's quite sick.
Avram.
Roger Miller.
Roger Miller's quite sick.
Avram.
Jorginho's expensive. Viv Anderson. Wasn't he the first black English player? England international?
Oh, I don't know if he was.
I think that's a QI thing that, you know. I'm pretty sure that's a QI.
Is it, yeah?
Like
Roberto Carlos from 150 quid.
It's cheap, though. First black England international. Yeah, Viv Anderson.
Oh, I was thinking of cricketers. I actually was as well.
I always think of that. I always get them mixed up, cricket and football. Roberto Carlos is cheap. Mohamed Sissoko.
Mo.
Michael, Dan, can you...
I'd rather go and give 135 quid to one of these fucking dull cunt scientists out here.
Can we get Michael Owen
to
do a message for someone's daughter and call her his little bunny rabbit? Because he ran a rabbit over, didn't he, and tweeted about it. If we can get him on Cameo going, happy birthday to my little bunny rabbit.
John Aldridge, just go the fucking
It's
elephant
so
in Moulton.
sinister if you think about it.
I'm looking, just go the elephant in Moulton, he's there all the time.
John Aldridge, 75 quid. Or buys a pint at me local boozer.
Rene Higuita and Valderrama, no, they're sick. Rene Higuita, the fucking famous goalkeeper.
Right, we're setting up on Cameo.
You want to set up on Cameo?
I will set up for 25 quid.
25 quid?
Don't give a fuck.
For both of us or just for you?
No, stop. Listen, you're going to have to charge more, mate.
25 quid for you, 25 quid for me, or 3 grand for both of us.
That works.
That's not bad, though.
That works. That's what we're
And
going
you get
out
producer's
for live.
corner as well.
Yeah.
We'll
say anything. We'll say anything.
How much for you, Carl?
Money?
Yeah.
Father.
How much for you, Finn, for a cameo from you?
More than that.
I thought you went £1. I was like, that was one of the most depressing things ever.
Finn should probably be the most expensive because it's rare that he speaks. Do you know what I mean? You could go through the hours of footage of podcast that me and Dan have done, and if you spent the time, you could edit a birthday message together. Hello, Lisa. Happy birthday.
Half of it would be off mic.
You know what I mean? But you can't do that with Finn. He's more of a premium. It's very difficult to edit together from him.
At least 100.
Yeah.
That's enough. Give the mic back to Carl now, Finn.
Let's keep that price high, kids.
Past your fucking episode quota.
Can you do dick pic ones?
What?
OnlyFans, yeah.
Shut up, Finn.
Cameo for your birthday with a dick pic.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a website
I
for
might
that,
charge more for that.
You reckon?
Lad, it's my daughter's birthday. Can you send a dick pic? I'm all right. This is my little bunny rabbit. That's what I call my dick.
Is it?
It's white and fluffy. I don't know what I'm saying. I wish I should have had breakfast.
I wish I should have breakfast.
Is there gin in that bottle?
I wish I should have breakfast.
Ovram Grant. Airborne Uds.
Would you send a dick pic? Would Laura let you send a dick pic if the price was high enough? Like if we had a Patreon listening to get in touch, right? £10 Patreon. And they're like, look, I just want to see Dan's dick. You've mentioned it so much. I want to see it fully erect. Right? Can you send me a pic? Name your price. At what point do you think Laura would go, just send it? 200 quid?
She don't give a fuck. She would let me send 10 dick pics if she could just have 3 hours in bed.
Right.
Minus my dick. She doesn't care where it goes. I do. I don't want my little fucking... I've retired. He's out of the game. He's retired.
Would you let Laura send pictures if it wasn't her face?
What?
So like say like people want like foot pictures of it or like...
Oh yeah!
Bumhole?
That's a
foot to bumhole is quite
feel like
elite.
we could have worked up like... Had a minute, like, what about sending feet pics? Yeah, I'd be into that. Bumhole? Bumhole. Gaping! Bumhole.
Who asks?
Yeah.
Bumhole pictures.
Can I have a bumhole pic?
I'm not saying.
Well, it's on your menu, innit? If you're on OnlyFans, can Can you do request stuff like?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I think you can, but OnlyFans is generally just like.
I've sent some pictures out today.
Yeah, it's not like sent out though. It's just like an Instagram feed, but for tits.
It's Patreon. But for tits and
yeah. But then I'm sure with OnlyFans they will do private pics. If you're like,
there's premium stuff.
Hey, if you're selling pictures, I'm sure you can do like VIP. There's like a VIP package, whether like feet or bumhole.
VI pussy, a very important.
£10 a toe.
£10 a toe.
£1 grand for my gaping
feet or
bumhole.
bumhole.
Yeah, feet or bumhole.
I like.
Would you let Sam?
How much for your bumhole, Adam?
No, I don't want me girl's friend's bumhole being on the internet.
I don't mean bumhole. I mean like if someone gives you socks, I'll give you 50 quid.
I'm not as arsed about that.
I'm not asked at all.
Do you know what I mean?
'Cause they're the loser, not me. I've got money.
Why
you bought?
Give him the mic.
It was when I was in uni. Some guy messaged me on Snapchat and was like, how much for some pictures of your feet? And I don't care. So I got about 70 quid.
Finn.
Yeah, hello.
Can we just slow down just for 1 second, mate? What? You've worked here
Yeah,
for over 6 months.
I have, yeah.
And this is when you've brought this up.
I didn't know when it was appropriate. This seems like the perfect conversation.
You know when
You
it was
should have started your second episode. First episode, you find your feet. No pun intended. Second episode. Second episode, you should have been like, lads, got a story to open with here. What are you talking?
got a
You're
story.
a man.
You're a sex worker.
Yeah?
You're a slut.
No, hey, he's a sex worker. Let's not shame. Let's not
I'm
kink
not
shame.
shaming him.
I did do
I'm not
bumhole,
saying
yeah.
it's bad to be a slut. I'm saying he is a slut.
I did.
Fuck off.
Fucking hell, Finn. Absolute bants over here. This is why we should let him talk more.
No, we're keeping the price high.
Right, yeah.
So what I mean, this is a little teaser.
Mate,
what are you going to
keeping the price high? Everything's for fucking sale. With
We
old
own him, by
Phineas.
the way. We own his intellectual property rights. So he'll get £4 per cameo, and the other 96 comes to the podcast.
Right. Right now, let's do an advert. We need to create revenue. How much for your big, white, half Welsh, half Turkish feet?
My feet?
Well, the aircon just went up like it was getting warm in here. The aircon just went, God, it's getting a bit hot and spicy in here. How much do people need to whip together and for you to send them
You
pictures
got
of your
70
feet?
quid last time.
70
It was like for a few pictures of my feet. It was in shoes as well, some of them. I don't know what this guy was into. He was like, send me some pictures in your shoes.
I put a picture of me new shoes on my Instagram story
I
last
know.
night.
You don't know what people were doing with that.
Oh, people are doing cum tributes to your fucking shoes.
They can wank over my shoes if they want. I don't mind. And it's the same as the cameo thing. If you want a picture of my feet, me bumhole I will charge for, but my feet, you can have them for free. They're not that nice. They go off at an angle. They're hairy. I don't clip my toes that often.
And he's
I don't know
not-
what you're getting out of it, really.
he's
But
not-
if you want them, you can have them.
He's not definitely replying, but I love it how Adam's like, you can have anything. You can have anything. Pictures of me bumhole, pictures of me feet. I'm fine. Love it. You're very open with this
Me
stuff.
bumhole as well. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, because there's not many people who've seen it. It's not like they're going to put it on the internet and people are going to be like, that's Adam Rowe. That.
No, you need to save something for the live shows.
Okay, bumhole pictures are only available as merch after live shows. Signed bumhole.
Adam, I love the pods. Can I have a picture with your bumhole? You're going to have to get down, lad. People crouch.
we'll get me-
People crouching, and the mum's taking the picture, and they've got a mask on.
We'll get either like a table or maybe like a hammock for me to sit in with my bumhole out. If I just bend over the hammock and just... Go ahead.
Tell you right now, we're going to need a new intern to carry around your bumhole hammock. Innit?
We're also going to need planning permission to attach it to the ceiling at every show.
Yeah.
We have to go back to B&Q and get some more of those things. for
Can't
the
wait.
Curtain pole.
Can't
I'll
wait.
get the planning permission. What's it for? I don't know. It's bumhole.
Yeah. We
But
need.
like, do you know, like, when you do pitches after the show, often you'd have to, like, talk to people and you're like, oh, yeah. And it's great and I like meeting people. But, like, it takes a bit of time, do you know what I mean? I reckon it'll just be easier if I'm just there with my bumhole out and people just queue up and they're like,
No, we get a merch
On you
table.
go.
We get a merch table, and we just bend you over it.
yeah.
You have to.
high enough.
They're gonna have to go low. Otherwise, you know when you like a fireman lift where you put someone over your shoulder. Carl's a big lad.
Look, I don't want to be a diva, but if I don't get me bumhole hammock, I'm not doing it.
I think he needs to be head height.
I've always known that about you.
He needs to be head height on a bumhole hammock.
Make them do the work. He's getting his bum all out.
Yeah, but it's all about the money.
How much do you want a picture of Adam's bumhole? You fucking lazy, you lot. Why am I so dehydrated?
Because it's like 400 degrees in this room.
Yeah, it is since Finn started talking about his sexy sex worker feet.
Well, the only other person we've had in here who was admitted to selling stuff like that is Steph. And it's quite funny because Steph messaged me this morning and we need to have a word with one of our listeners.
Can I just say?
That was a dovetail joint.
Absolutely. This, watching him progress as a broadcaster. Okay, no. That's like one of the youth setup kids coming through and getting his first England cap. Shut that fucking aircon off.
Turn that off.
Good God. I'd knock the Hoover over Finn
like
with
a
your
sausage
big,
roll machine,
sexy
doesn't it?
fucking slut feet. £25, DM me. I'll take pictures from here.
Yeah, so Steph Johnson messaged me today and said, I've got a little update
Janet
for you on
Rothko. Stop abusing Finn. Shut up, Janet. £30 for you.
So, a while back, when a little time after Steph did her first appearance on the couch, or no, the second appearance, sorry.
Can you get the bus? It's very precarious.
It's time for it. Oh, sorry. You're only supposed to blow off the blade doors. Time for Steph Johnson to come back, eh? End of the Italian Job. There's a bus hanging off a cliff.
Yeah.
That's the reference. Finn got it.
I did get it. It was
Is that meant to be Michael Caine
just
now?
shit.
niche.
It was just.
That was good. It was
You
niche.
got it, and you just looked at me like I'm a cunt. Nice one. That was the joke. You're only supposed to blow off the bladed doors.
I'm not going to name this guy, but I'm assuming
What?
he's a regular listener.
Could be a girl.
What?
No, it's not. It's a man.
Oh, son.
It's obviously a man.
Right, I'm just trying to keep it
Or
diplomatic.
an uncle. So, he messaged Steph, hey, Steph, I think you're gorgeous. Would love to take you out.
Nice.
And she said, thanks, I'm not dating at the moment. And he said, I didn't think you'd reply. Just been watching you on Adam's podcast.
Ooh.
You know, this one.
Right. Now I'm offended.
Yeah.
You fucking horrible cunt. So let's.
And she said, then you'll know why I'm not dating. So it must have been just after the second appearance where she talked about Rudy. So if you haven't seen that episode, go back. It's the bonus episode with Steph Johnson. It's her second appearance on the couch. Steph Johnson bonus episode. She told us all about this catfishing, cheating cunt guy thing. You'll really enjoy it. It's
It
one
was
of our best episodes.
explosive.
So that was on 5 days later. I don't want to say exactly when it was. 5 days later, he messaged Steph again and said, hey, Steph, how's it going? Andy is smashing it, isn't he? Now, I don't know who Andy is. And she put, he is. And this guy replied, text me with his number. Be nice to be pals. You seem a good laugh. WhatsApp me. I'm not a weirdo. Could go for a walk and a coffee as pals.
Nice.
And she said, no, you're all right, but thanks. And he said, how's your night been? Now, that's where the conversation ends.
Is this on Instagram?
This is on Instagram DM.
This is the chat of Tinder, innit? That's Tinder based, like.
Yeah. Now, the problem with it is 2 hours ago today, this guy uploaded a picture of him and his heavily pregnant wife.
Oh, dear.
And if you go back, like at the time, in November and August, there's pictures of him with said lady. Now, if you're gonna do this to the woman you love, who's about to shit out your kid, right?
Technical term.
It's just a bit stupid to do it so blatantly, innit? To have it written down in black and white whilst there's pictures of your missus tagged. Like, he's very lucky because I spoke to Steph and said, tell her. And Steph said, I'm done with telling women after what happened with Rudy, because Rudy's, spoiler alert, Rudy's missus stayed with him. She's like, and I ended up looking like the gobshite. So I'm not doing it anymore because she'll just stay with him and she's heavily pregnant and it could cause problems with the pregnancy due to stress and stuff like that.
That's a great shout.
So I'm not going to tell her. But fuck me. How stupid have you got to be?
He knows who he is now, doesn't he, watching this?
Yeah.
You know who you are.
But that's proper, like, self-destruction, innit? Because he knows it's so easy for all that to come out.
It's fucking slimy, but it's not even like clever slimy where you're like, some guys are just perma-shaggers, aren't they? They're like, they cannot stop trying to shag. And like, me. But to do it to Steph Johnson, who is vociferously anti-slime ball, Like all her chat regarding the opposite sex online is basically like, men are really scummy sometimes, aren't they? Some of the douchebags that message me to be like, yeah, I've seen that, but got to shoot my shot. Got to shoot my shot. No, I'm not coming into an appointment. Go to your own appointments. Got to shoot my shot. Like, not, Steph. Not at all, ideally.
You've had a stinker, lad.
Damn.
What if he knows? Just playing devil's advocate. What if he knows
The baby's not his.
the baby's not his? He's got evidence. Maybe we're slagging this lad off, but he already knows
Yeah.
that someone else has come in as missus,
It's Leroy's.
and that's
Well, cool. If you want to represent the fucking pedo in the courtroom, you can, but
is that a well-known phrase?
it's well known. Someone's
Very
got,
American phrase.
someone's
There was
got
a
a-
pedo in
someone's
the
got-
courtroom, so I thought I'd bring it over here.
someone's got to represent. Someone's going to give counsel to the pedo. No, you don't want to be on this. Like, I know you're playing devil's advocate, but it's not good, is it?
What if, right?
Mm.
What if she was like, we won't have a baby, I don't want a baby, and like, I'll be on the pill, and she's trapped him.
Does happen.
Does.
We'll just leave her then.
What if she's like threatened to kill his entire family if he leaves?
Yeah.
Does happen.
Yeah, it does happen. I'd try and fuck Steph Johnson then. Yeah. And now I'm starting to see it from your point of view. And that's how pedos get off. Because of
Why
fucking
is it
mega
pedo?
minds. Oh, it's not. It's just
It's like hypothetical, isn't it?
I'm sure we've sort of touched on this before. If you were a lawyer, could you morally represent someone you knew was guilty?
Well, that's justice, isn't it? Real justice means someone's got to have legal counsel, and someone's to convict them honestly. They have to be represented fairly. So at some point, you're like, this guy's murdered 5 people, but if he doesn't have representation, he can't be proved guilty properly. So it's you have a
Zealously
moral,
represent your
not
client.
zealously, but fairly, and
Literally the oath you sign.
is zealous.
Zealously represent your client to the
Wow.
best of your ability.
Wow.
Do you think you could do that? So someone's like, listen, lad, right, let's just
To
pretend.
get them off on a technicality.
So I'm like, yeah, mate, listen, right, I've killed 17 people.
Yeah.
Right? No reason. Just went mad.
Yeah.
Got a bit out of hand one day. I'd had 4 sambucas and 2 pints of Carlin.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
And I just went off on one.
Carlin
You're
does
my
that.
lawyer.
Right. How have I got the gig?
What?
Have I got the gig?
Because you're a lawyer?
Right. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Just kill 17 people and ring 0800 fucking stupid lawyer.
You owe my dad a favour. So he's gone.
oh,
right.
shit. Well, I wouldn't represent you, but your dad's sound.
Yeah, exactly.
He's done some wallpapering for me, so fucking, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So my dad is...
Sometime you got to represent the pedo in the courtroom. Fact.
My dad's threatened you basically and said, I will fucking tear that wallpaper down if you don't represent my son.
Wow.
And you're like...
That sounds
"Fuck."
like a big threat. But
Yeah.
it's also quite pedantic. I will tear that wallpaper down.
Yeah, but
Right,
you're
okay.
looking at your wallpaper one day and you're like, do you know what? There's no one in the world who can wallpaper this well.
Like Mick Rowe.
Yeah. So
Don't want to piss Mick Rowe off. He's
So-
really nice bloke and dead friendly.
I'm gonna
But he can turn.
I'm gonna represent his son. Could you do it? Could you call like people? Someone's crying like he fucking killed me, nan, and you'd be like, you didn't. You haven't got a nan. You've never had a nan, have you? You're lying. Could you do it? Could you zealously represent a serial killer?
I mean, it's probably a bit like gigging in Hull, innit?
No.
You know, when you're like, as a circuit comic, there are gigs you want to do and there's places you want to be. And there's sometimes where you're like, oh, God, it's 140 quid on a Wednesday.
I don't feel like this is going to be a one-day trial.
No, but like in every job, you have to play the game a little bit. Like the fucking top class in law, in being a solicitor, in being a lawyer. I'm sure there's like TV credits levels. They don't have to do these gigs because people who kill 17 people usually aren't wealthy, are they? It's state.
I'm a billionaire in this.
Oh, is it you?
Yeah, I'm a billionaire.
So there's a billionaire.
Who's killed 17 people because he had 2 cans of Carlin and 4 sambucas.
So I can name my price, hourly rate.
Yeah.
I can be like, it's $1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
low.
I'm in. I'm all right. I'll be all right.
Low.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can, even if you obviously you lose and you still have to pay me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Called a retainer.
Nice one. I think I could, for the sake of justice, I could swallow my pride.
Could you?
And zealously. What
if I was like throughout the whole thing while like the prosecution's giving evidence, I just keep going to you. If you get me off, I'm going to do it again. And who knows who's next?
Yeah. How did you make your billions, by the way, murder boy? Like, just out of interest, in this hypothetical, you're clearly like an absolute psycho who's killed 17
people. I won the Euro
people.
Millions and then went to the casino and put all of it on Black 11 and it came in.
Fuck me. Wow. You are one lucky cunt.
And the casino paid out.
I can't believe you didn't get away with any of those 17 murders. Won the Euro Millions, took the whole lot, went down to Euro HQ in fucking Brussels, got me money, came back, went down the Mecca or whatever casino, swatted it on
Casino.
Well, I don't know.
The Leo Casino on the docks.
Mecca, yeah.
Leo Casino on the
And I
docks.
put 350 million on 11.
Could you imagine the 23-year-old who's just got his like gambling license to be at the table like, I'm going to have to speak to my supervisor. No! Fuck your supervisor. 147 million. On Black.
Black 11.
Black 11.
Yeah. It's my favourite number.
Right.
So that's how I got my billions.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think
Sounds like a bag of shite. But I think it's part of the deal with being a lawyer. I think you've just got to you've got to do it. I mean, ideally do it on a retainer. But yeah, you're not going to feel good about it, are you? Or are you going to go, I can't do it. This guy's an absolute psycho.
Yeah. Well, if you don't represent me, I'll kill you.
But then it's just mistrial, so someone else has to do it.
So if it's a threat to life, he can then tell the police.
Yeah, and I'll just go, I didn't threaten him.
Yeah.
Right.
My word against this.
If
New trial.
This is getting more convoluted, isn't it?
Yeah.
The murder trial. I just keep threatening people and saying I didn't. The murder trial will get delayed forever. And I've got enough money to be out on bail, and I just keep killing people.
I think they'd refuse bail
Beating the
Why?
system.
if you kept threatening lawyers.
But
Beating the system.
in the eyes of the law, I'm innocent until proven guilty. You can't prove I've threatened any lawyers.
No, but they can just
I'll say it
no.
under my breath. So even if he's got a recorder, it wouldn't. Like even if that mic was there.
You've won.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Lincoln lawyer, Dan?
Is that with McConaughey?
Similar to that, isn't it? Like the battle between.
That's my Matthew McConaughey impression. That's how he speaks, isn't it? Lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm a liar.
Why is what S on the end of
That's
that?
an impression.
Sausages.
Can you say?
Is Matthew McConaughey the pedo in the courtroom? Is this his new film?
Can you say Stephen Gerrard sizzled some sausages?
Stephen Gerrard sizzled some sausages. That's my Matthew McConaughey. It's quite a good McConaughey.
Imagine if he did that in The Wolf of Wall Street. If Scorsese was like, right, we're going to do this scene in the restaurant. It's morning. We've got a young Leo DiCaprio. Ready? Cut! Matt! Don't do that last bit. You were doing that well. Also, you're weirdly thin because of Dallas Buyers Club, but could you not do that?
It worked out quite well that he did Dallas Buyers Club at the same time in Wolf of Wall Street, though, didn't it? Because in Dallas Buyers Club, he had AIDS, which makes you skinny. And in Wolf of Wall Street, he's a coke addict, which makes you skinny.
No, he looked terrible in Wolf of Wall Street. You could tell it was a small part. He was having to cut so much weight because of Dallas Buyers Club. He looks ill in Wolf of Wall Street. Ideally, you shouldn't ever be thinking, he's thin because of the film.
Yeah. No, but he could have just been a coke addict.
Yes, it's true. I mean, he was having cocaine and whatever, Tom Collins for breakfast, wasn't
Yeah, exactly. So,
he?
yeah. And he was wanking 3 times a day.
Those are rookie numbers.
No, twice a day, innit? At least twice a day.
Should we have a break? Should we go to the canteen and get some cocaine? And I'm going to need you to bring me one of these every 5 minutes.
So,
Yeah. Steve with his fucking visor on. I'm going to need you to bring me a ham and panini at 5-minute intervals.
Ham and panini.
can't speak, man. I've not had breakfast.
Can I have some ham and a panini? I'll make it myself.
Ham and panini.
Hello, I'm Matthew McConaughey's.
Cherry Pepsi Max.
Who's that?
Matthew McConaughey.
Is Matthew McConaughey here with the
McConaughey.
McConaughey.
Family Guy?
McConaughey.
No, he's not.
Is that based on him though? Because he's got a little at the end as well.
Hello, Chris.
Yeah.
Get over here, you muscly little paper boy.
Chris.
I'm calling a break because it's gone. We heard. See you shortly.
What's happening, guys? It's Adam here, and I'm here to tell you yet again that this podcast, Have a Word, is supported and brought to you by Manscaped, the world's best male grooming products, especially for that below-the-belt grooming. And they've got some big news. They've just released their cologne scent. Who knew smelling this good could feel this good as well? Join the movement and become a part of 2 million people who are now trusting Manscaped to shave their balls. Now, I shave my balls once a week, twice if I'm feeling frisky. And since I've started using Manscaped, I've stopped cutting the bag. I don't snag the bag anymore. Manscaped, I know they're a sponsor of this podcast, and I'm literally getting money to say that they're great, but I don't use anyone else anymore. They're absolutely brilliant. They've got the Perfect Package 3.0, where you get the ear trimmer called the Weed Whacker. You can use that on your nose as well. You get the Lawnmower 3.0, which is the little wazzer for your balls and that. There's ball deodorant, there's ball toner, there's ball wipes. Basically, if you clean yourself up down there, lads, right, if you get a little bit neater, right, a little bit shaved down there and make it smell nice, your beard's going to want to suck it off more often. So why aren't you doing it? Trust me, go to manscaped.com right now and use the promo code WORD at checkout. That's WORD. You'll get 20% off and you'll get free worldwide shipping, and they'll stay dead happy with us because we're sending them a few customers. They'll keep sponsoring the podcast, and we can keep bringing you this top level bullshit for free. Go do it now and then come back. Go ahead. Shave your balls and stop them stanking.
Finn's going to sneak out, remember?
He's going to pick up today's guest, Mr. Dane Baptiste.
Who's not Australian?
No, he's not. How'd you know?
What?
How'd you know?
What have I assumed his nationality?
You have, yeah?
Yep.
You don't even know where I'm from.
I've got an inkling.
No, you know where I say I'm from.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever done any, like...
I would never assume your gender.
No.
What
I'm
am I?
a man,
A pig?
by the way, just so you know.
Yeah?
A fucking man.
I'm pangender.
Oh, yeah? What's that mean?
None of your fucking business. That's what it means.
Shags pans.
That's pansexual.
Is it?
I think I'm a pan. What?
have you ever done any Ancestry stuff?
Yeah. They were
Have
all,
you?
They were all pangender as well.
Oh, have you though? Have you done any Ancestry stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm genuinely South African. No, ROWE is a South African name. ROWE.
Not though, is it?
No, it's not.
There's no South African names.
It is? What do you mean?
Jonah.
It's a fucking... If you're a white South African,
No.
you're not like
Who said I'm white?
indigenous.
Who said I'm white?
Am I assuming your race now?
Mm-hmm.
That's really...
Where's ROWE
dangerous
from?
on me.
South Africa.
No, it's not.
Just a silly fucker. Do you know what?
Ireland.
It's Irish, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's an Anglo-Irish. So, like, I remember arguing with someone online because I made a joke about Irish people. And he was like, fucking typical English cunt. Like, we hate you all. I was like, mate, I'm Scouse. And my surname's Rowe. It's Irish. And he was like, well, actually, that's an oppressive Irish name. Like, that's only an Irish name because the Anglo... Blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, shut up. My nan was Irish, so I'll fucking fight your whole family.
Yeah, but she was oppressed.
What's she, though?
I don't know.
Nightingale's English, isn't it?
How did she do in South Africa? What?
What?
Nightingale's...
solid English, isn't it?
I think it's French.
Is it?
I mean, if you
No, that's
take
Nightingale.
take it way back, I think the surname Nightingale's from the Norman Conquest.
Wow.
Doesn't sound right, that.
No, it doesn't sound right, but it's what, if you read up about it.
Sick.
We were the singers in the...
Riegler
Norman
is Jewish Nazi, innit? Like, combination.
It's quite a... they don't really go together, do they? As a... Not sure.
Didn't used to.
It isn't Jewish or Nazi, which isn't a region of the world either.
Neither's Jewish.
He has no idea. Look, I love it when he's like, I've said things. He literally just throws weird hand grenades into a conversation. Like a Jewish German Nazi. And then just looks at us like, Go on. Talk.
Do you know where my name's from? My second name.
Austria.
It is. Yeah.
Father fucking Dougal. I'm South African.
I'm the biggest Austrian since David Alaba.
Arnautovic.
Hitler. I was going with Hitler.
Hitler was Austrian.
Yeah.
I know.
South African. I got caught perving by Laura yesterday.
On Laura.
No, on it. Mate, you don't get caught perving on your wife.
You can if she's like fucking
I see
shaving a bumhole and you're like poking around the roller.
Yeah, but like we're married. I say like, I like that shiny bumhole. She's like, that bumhole yours, daddy. I'm like, I know that bumhole mine. I don't creep around perving on my wife. I'm like,
That's what I
sister,
thought.
you got a great ass. Shave it. I was on Instagram. My search, you know, is it for you?
For you, yeah.
Press the little magnifying glass. Instagram's got me pegged as a dirty dog. Well, you like pictures of ladies and boobs. I'm like, I do! Privately. And I'd obviously been just aimlessly like, well, I've checked Instagram, checked all the, seen my feed. I'll have a look at some international tits. So I had been. And then I'd clicked off and I was just sat next to her. Must have been 10 minutes before I'd been on Instagram, but you've not closed down Instagram. It's just you've closed down the window. So I did my little, I just checked the Gmail and my phone was out and I checked the Twitter and then pressed on Instagram. Big old melons in yellow lingerie. And my thumb, it was like, in cartoons or in a film when people go, oh, shit. Like my thumb did that. My thumb just went, oh, shit. Like did a, oh, fuck. Laura absolutely pissed it. She thought it was funny. Thank fuck. She was like, that was the guiltiest thumb I've ever seen. Like, oh, shit.
I've started
Okay, what a lovely reaction.
doing a bit about the
Yeah.
on the iPhone Safari, the web browser. It's like 4 squares that grass up your favourite websites. Right? So every now and then, one of them will be Pornhub, even though I don't really go on it that often.
On Chrome as well. It's like
Yeah. Like
You know you want it. We'll make it easy.
But I'll clear the square because although everyone knows we all watch a bit of porn every now and then.
So that's a South African pronunciation. I love pound. It is really good. I like cricket, a little bit of racism, and pound.
Racism.
So what, we all watch a bit of
Pornography.
Pound.
Pound.
Pornography.
Yeah.
So nice.
I'll clear the square. And the other day,
Pound.
Sam went to me, have you just cleared your Pornhub square? And I went, yeah. She went, why? And I went, I just don't like it being there. She was like, but I'm the only one who can see it. And I was like, yeah, but I want to be in a green room or something or whatever.
Gentlemen, it's private time.
She was like, don't worry about it. It's fine.
That's good. Good sign. Good sign. Keep the red flag where it is.
Yeah.
Good sign.
Everyone.
Why is everyone obsessed with that idea of I can't believe you look at that? Just believe, you fucking child. It's just what goes on, innit?
Believe your child. Tell me, what are you looking at? Nothing? I believe you. You're my child.
Kieran says, hey guys, big fan of the podcast. Believe your child. Weird, isn't it?
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
So strange.
Says, it's like representing a pedo in a courtroom. Right. I thought none of this makes sense. It's been another weird one. The Patreon episode was mental as well. Kieran says, hey guys, big fan of the podcast. I work for a company called Inspired Ventures, who organise travel experiences for content creators, surfers, yoga instructors, and sex workers. That's you, Finn? I think you guys could run a great UK 3 Peaks challenge for a charity with your audience obviously paying to join and fundraise. Would love to know your thoughts. He's even done a little branding for us. And I tell you what, you can tell he works in the industry, Kieran. He's called Have a Word, Do the 3 Peaks. And he's put that in quotation marks.
Right. What are the 3 peaks?
It's the 3 big mountains in the UK, innit?
So that's Movama,
Snowdon, and
Millie.
I was going to say Millie. Look at that, mate. Bam.
Right.
Millie Hills by ours. Quite steep road.
Yeah.
Just before I tell Kieran to fuck right off, explain exactly what a Peaks challenge, because this is what it sounds like.
Climbing 3 mountains.
In
It
one
sounds
in one
like
day.
running from one hill to another hill and another hill with some stopovers in some fucking...
Ben Nevis, Scaffold Peak, Pike, and Snowdon. 23 miles in 3 stages with an ascent of 3,000 meters.
Yeah, you do three mountains in 3 days.
Right.
You don't want to do it?
You go from...
No, you do it in a day.
No.
Yeah, 24 hours.
You can't do 3 mountains in 3 days. No one's ever done it. It can't be done.
It's in our day.
What?
3 mountains in 1 day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You said 3 days.
Oh, well,
How'd you get from Ben Nevis to Snowdon?
Drive, yeah. Like, it's quite a common thing. It's not like it's like an Iron Man.
Yes.
Just talk me through... Why am I being thick? Talk me through it.
Right,
You drive to Snowdon.
So you do
and go,
Snowdon
right.
first in Wales.
So how long does that take?
Couple of hours,
Couple of hours?
Then you
I
drive
don't like walking up Bold Street to get back to me parked car.
It is a little bit uphill, isn't it? I hate Bold Street.
Hey, listen, Kieran. I see what you're doing, but you're gonna have to change the challenge. Like, if you're in like a department store and one of the escalators is not working, we'll do that challenge.
Dan, you
Like,
can do the 3 beak challenge.
Yeah.
the 3 beak challenge.
You try 3 different types of beak in one day.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm in all of a sudden, and then I'll do fucking Ben Nevis and Snowdon on my dick.
But yeah, you do Snowdon, then you drive to Scaffold Pike in England, and then you go to Ben Nevis in Scotland
In a day.
in a day. How long do the 3 peaks take? It takes about 24 hours. Yeah. So
Bollocks.
Okay.
Not happening.
13 hours hill walking and 11 hours driving.
Why would anyone want to do that?
When
To
did you
say you've
sleep?
You don't?
done- That's fucking stupid.
Or in the car.
Who's driving then?
Hire the driver, Finn.
Hire a driver. You can tell the patron's doing well. Hire a driver! You! Drive me to all these mountains! And while you're here, get out of the car and I'll ride you, piggyback style, up this fucking hill. Here's your fucking money.
Bye,
It
Finn.
looked like Finn got really upset with the podcast then and was like, you know what? No. I'm done now. Too far.
I don't like jokes about Snowdon. It's our spiritual home, innit? That's how Finn talks.
Would you not do it now?
See you, Finn.
Bye,
Look after
Finn.
yourself.
I don't think any of us, including you, are in the physical
No.
condition to do it.
But I reckon we could get there.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Imagine how disappointing that would be for all the podcast fans who are like, these guys, honestly, Adam and Dan, the chemistry they've got. I listen to every episode. I'm a massive patron. Oh, it's fucking amazing. How unfunny they think we
That
were
second mountain.
on the second mountain when it was pissing down.
Second mountain. The first drive.
They'd be like, yeah, they're not as quite as witty when they're having asthma attacks halfway up a hill.
I think it would be good for us to do something like that, though. I'd love us to do Tough Mudder. I love that. We should do Tough Mudder together. That'd be great.
I went for a jog the other night and lasted 25 minutes and needed a poo and had to go home. So I don't think, although Tough Mudder's good because you could just do a little.
You can do whatever you want.
You can have a poo in the mud and be like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should
A tough mother for me is when I'm having a shit when I'm hungover.
I don't even think that's the first time he's done that joke on the podcast. It felt familiar. I was like, either I am in your fucking poo-based mind.
I'd
Yeah,
like us to do
Kieran,
a challenge, though.
can we do a one? Can we do a 1 peak challenge? I'll do that.
Like, we'll climb.
Why don't we? I've got an idea to make the 3 peak one a bit easier.
Right,
Go on.
So we all take a skateboard so we don't have to walk down it.
right.
That's
So
a good
we'll
idea,
walk
that.
up it and then we get to the top and then it's more fun, innit?
Walking down's just as hard because it's proper like impact
Yeah.
on your knees and that, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just get on a skateboard and just...
How is your skateboarding? Because mine's not good on a flat pavement.
No, we're not going to stand up. We sit on the skateboard.
Oh,
Fucking idiot.
sorry. You're going to sit on a skateboard.
Yeah. Or a sled.
And a sled? It actually makes more sense.
I think there is a flat bit of snow.
Yeah, Snowdon is essentially a big slide, isn't it?
Yeah, Snowdon's always got snow on it.
There's a fella at the top who goes, go on. There's like a green light.
Yeah,
Go on.
yeah.
Wait,
Go on.
go.
Yeah.
And you just go vroom, into the car park. Yeah, seems good. Kieran, we're
I would
into
like
it.
to do a physical challenge though with us because we're not good at it and it'd be funny.
Why don't we have a Royal Rumble? A fight with as many former guests as possible.
Right. For charity.
Yeah.
So it's gone from let's do 3 peaks to all.
Let's
Let's
just have a
have a
fight. Yeah. I think if I had to climb and drive 2 mountains, I have to climb them and then drive. I'd probably want to fight you. So we could just two birds with one stone there.
They'd make good content though.
I'll try and twat you on the top of fucking Ben Nevis.
Ben Nevis is the biggest one as well.
Oh God.
And it's
Headline.
The last one.
Do you do Ben Nevis last?
Yeah, you do. Snowdon, which is the middle one first, then Scaffold Pike, and then Ben Nevis. Apparently,
Where's Scaffold Pike?
England.
Where?
England.
like Carl never visited. It's a place called England.
It's in Europe.
Scaffold Piquet in England.
It's in the lakes.
Oh, right. Of course
Quite
it
nice,
is.
the lakes.
I love the lakes.
Yeah.
Quite nice, the lakes. Shouting out. All right, Lids. Seen Adam on Thursday last week and he was great. Just wanted to apologise for saying Kobe. Yeah. I think I started some ginger kid off who was sat next to me. Have a good day, Lids.
I've seen that email, yeah.
We talked about this on the Patreon, just gone.
People coming to gigs and just shouting catchphrases from the podcast is quite off-putting for both the comic, i.e. me, or Dan, and the entire audience. Don't do it. Please.
Yeah.
And it's Ja Rule now, so at least keep up with the fucking trend.
If you would like to see me and Adam live, we're doing something called Preston Live at the Guild Hall in Preston on June the 26th, Saturday, June the 26th. I'll give you the link, Carl, to whap in the description on YouTube.
I'm going to do me joke. My new joke.
Yeah? The Tough Mudder.
Yeah.
You closing with it?
Yeah.
Get ready for that one.
Tough Mudder is like...
it's been a pleasure to be here, lad. What? But I want to close on the old Tough Mudder joke. A few people know it. Colby, grow up. Hey?
When are we going to announce the special? Are we going to announce
Monday the 7th of June special?
Mm. When are we going to announce
tell them now?
that? Some people have been shouting it in the comments. Some people have...
Should we just tell them?
You didn't need to say the date. That's the date we're doing it, not the date it's being released.
Yeah, I know, yeah, but I needed to know that Carl was talking about the same thing I'm talking about.
You could have just made a noise.
There is no other special. I love it. Should we announce the special? The Monday the 7th of June special.
So, on Monday the 7th of June, we're recording something. It won't be out until a few weeks after that. I think it's coming out on like the 20th or something like that.
We're doing extra content for June, something we've never done before.
We're going with Barry Dodds to a haunted house, and we're going to stay there all night. We're going to record a live podcast in there, and then we're also going to video us walking around, smashing ghosts' heads in. If a ghost tries to scare the shit out of me, I swear to God, I'm going to batter it.
Right.
Know what I mean?
The Hoover.
Yeah. With a Hoover. Get your fucking Henry out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're recording a live podcast.
That's going to be exclusive for patreon.com/haveawordpod, and it'll come out the Friday, the week after that.
Yeah, probably.
Like 10 days or something, isn't it?
Yes.
12 days.
I'm a non-believer, but I'm also pooing myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be scared of something I don't believe in. Do my head in.
You're going to be shitting yourself as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. I can be a bit jumpy, but then I can, like, if I don't believe in the afterlife, what am I doing?
It's in that environment.
But I am jumping, like, as you're saying it, I'm like, my brain is going, yeah, but when you're dead, and I don't believe in anything. But then, yeah, I think it will get me a little bit.
A ghost has never killed anyone, has it? Like, there's never been in the news, man killed by ghost. So what are we actually scared of?
I mean, legally,
if the ghost's like, whoa, I'll be like, go ahead, what?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
What?
What a Raji Scouse way of dealing with poltergeist. Flat? You fucking see-through? Wow. Wow.
I'll be like, what?
No, I reckon we're all going to be shitting ourselves because
I'll be fine. I reckon by the end of it, I might actually be mates with the ghosts. I might be saying to the ghosts, Carl's in there. Go and fucking punch him in the head or something. You know what I mean? I don't know whether they've got like physical.
No, they haven't.
Yeah.
They're not real.
Not real.
That's point number one, innit?
We're going to do a podcast from a haunted house, and Adam thinks the guest is a ghost.
Imagine how famous we would be, right? If we're sat around recording a podcast and a ghost just comes in. Like, what's happening? Fucking love the pod. Right? Can I be on it? Can I be on it? Imagine if we got a ghost guest on the podcast. It'd be like...
I mean, imagine. It'd be amazing.
It'd be the biggest thing that's ever happened in history, probably.
Would you rather?
Would you rather come back to life, physical form?
Or pass on to the next realm? I do better than you, Dan, you fucking dick. What? Scouse Ghost. What?
Sounds Welsh.
What?
Are we staying over?
I died doing the 3 Peaks challenge.
Are we staying over?
We can do. Dan can't, or he's saying he can't.
I don't want to.
No
Why
one
not?
wants to.
I don't want to stay. I think we'll
Why
we'll
don't
have
you
we'll
want
have
to
a
stay
little
over?
ghost hunt.
Be funny going to bed though, wouldn't it?
Again, it's like, I think we might be biting off more than we can chew here. Like, where would we go to sleep? In the
beds.
house?
Yeah, there's beds.
Right. That sounds fucking grim.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely grim. Are we
Terrifying.
staying over?
I think we should do.
Yeah.
I'm going the.
I am more scared of my tired wife when I get back from the fucking ghost. I'm like, love, done that Patreon content. She'll be like, "Ugh." She'll be fucking scary. Never mind.
Imagine if you were in bed, right, and then you just woke up, and next to you, like, was a ghost who just wasn't trying to scare you. It was just like, what's happening? My bed, this.
Yeah.
Just go back, kid. Don't worry about it. Shh. Yeah, it's all right, lad.
I won't be able to go
Sharing,
with kid
scaring.
because you're there.
I don't think ghost.
I'll be more scared of you.
Why?
Yeah, totally.
Because
Why?
one of us is going to get up in the night and just like punch one of us in the face or something.
I don't think any of us, in all seriousness, are going to have the bottle to get out of bed once we're in it until there's sunlight.
Yeah. I'm going to bring one of these lights.
I reckon I'll bring me Haunted Liverpool books. I'll dig them out and we'll read ghost stories all night.
Why?
Because that'd be funny.
Dan's shitting himself.
He's terrified.
I just don't know what to think about this. I think Adam all night would be way worse than any sort of like spirit or ghost.
Fine.
I love how you think ghosts are going to be like, right, how you doing? How shit every ghost film would be if like ghosts just turned up in like a haunted film and they were like, carry on. I like what you've done with the place.
No, I don't think they're going to be like that, but like they might like
They're usually scary, aren't they? That's the whole thing.
not
They're
necessarily
trapped in a realm. Yeah.
But like it's possible that they might like we might be sat around listening to the podcast and then he might be like, do you know what? Like Dan's my favourite or Adam's my favourite, and maybe he'll come up to me and be like, really liked what you did before. No one's ever done that in here before. Like, do you want me to like
Laugh
scare
and
your
that.
mates and that?
Yeah.
I've got hours until I'm meant to do anything else.
Right.
What's he doing?
What's he doing?
Ghost stuff.
Ghost.
Tidying up.
Ghost stuff.
Mm.
Yeah. I'll look forward to that. It sounds... Yeah, all right.
What I always think with ghosts, right, is even like the ones that are meant to be real. I don't mean in films. You know the ones where like people have said, I've seen a ghost. They've got like ghost clothes on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
'cause
the clothes are ghosts as well there, aren't they?
No, what do you mean?
Like
Yeah.
people be like, I seen a woman in like Victorian dress walking down the corridor.
Oh, they love a Victorian ghost, don't they?
So, but why have
the
the
dress a
clothes got a spirit? Surely she should be walking around with her tits out.
Yeah.
If she's a ghost. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That'd be better as well.
Could you imagine if you said, get your tits out to a Victorian ghost? Woo, get your fucking waps out of.
No, but like, what I mean is, the ghost should just be walking around, bumholes, fanny, tits, dicks, and whatever else out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jeff, we're going to say ghost bumhole.
You mean your clothes can't pass on to the afterlife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The clothes haven't got a spirit, have they? And are you a ghost in the clothes you died
It's
in?
a great point, isn't it?
Are you a ghost in the clothes?
It's changing everything I believe about ghosts.
Are you a ghost in the clothes you died in? Clothes you were buried in? Your favourite outfit?
Yeah.
Can you change?
Can you change?
No, you can't change.
Right.
You can't,
You
hang
can't be
your
like,
ghost clothes on.
mate, I'm a ghost, but you know, it's Sunday afternoon, I need to chill.
Yeah.
Get the tracky bees on.
Yeah.
No, you've got to pick your. I think it's what you died in, isn't it? It's what you died in. That's the classic within the sort of genre of ghosts and ghost films and everything. What you died in is usually what.
What would you want to die in then?
Yeah, dressing gown. No, you'd always have a draft.
You'd want to die in a suit, surely, because then you'd always dress to. You're not going to look daft.
Why? Because you're
Best
gonna
to be overdressed and underdressed.
what for your ghost job interview?
Ghost court appearance?
Your ghost court appearance.
Yeah.
Representing a ghost pedo.
Yeah.
And now, what would I want to die in?
What you always wear? I've never seen you wear anything different. You always wear the same stuff. You could
Comfy.
Carl is constantly dressed like if someone goes, do you want to kick about now? He'd be like, nice one, I'm ready. Like he's permanently in some form of football training stuff.
Yeah.
It's because it's dead comfy.
Because I don't want to wear jeans, but I don't have to. You can't see me legs. Why the fuck would I wear jeans? I could have my cock out here. You wouldn't know about it.
Oh yeah, in that first lockdown, denim was locked away as well.
Yeah.
It was fucking horrific the first time I put jeans on. And I was like, oh, I know it's great that we're like restrictions are lifting, but fuck me. Shouts are
Normalised.
I did a gig in
pajamas
shorts.
in the town.
Yeah, I think Liverpool has to a certain extent, more than most places. Okay, yeah. Harry Robinson's asked for some advice.
Goat.
Long distance relationships.
Okay.
He says, Sapnin Lids. Wanted to get your take on something that was touched on slightly in the Nigel Ung episode when he was talking about his marriage. As you actually mentioned in that episode, I'm off to Oklahoma. I'm off to Oklahoma in August.
The Sooner State.
In August to study for a year. It's all incredibly exciting, and if you need an extra cameraman for when you trek from Skem to Jilly Bean's gaff, I'll work for free. But the one big negative is that I'm leaving behind my girlfriend whilst I'm having a belter of a time in cowboy country, something I can't help feel guilty about. I just wanted to ask, as you both mentioned how hard it is to balance travelling for comedy and a relationship, what do you make of long-distance relationships? Have you ever been put into a similar position because of work? And if so, how did you manage it? All the best from Harry the Goat Robbo. He's not signed yet. He's not signed off.
I hate
as the
to
goat.
be so blunt with our Lord and Saviour, Harry. But one of you are going to fuck someone.
Yeah.
So you might as well call it before you go and go, look, it's going to be too hard. Like, I don't know any long-distance relationship, certainly from young people going off to uni and stuff, that survived. I don't know of one
Depends
example.
how long they've been together. It's totally...
I think it's
you went to Japan together, didn't you?
We went together, yeah. But I think if we
You've been
went
together 8 years at the point when you went away.
I think if we went separately, we wouldn't have broke up.
No.
I think you're naive.
But in your late 20s, when you've already been together 8
That's
years.
what I mean. Why would you throw that away for a year?
When you're planning, I think it's about where the relationship is. You can easily go, oh, young people, it doesn't matter. But at that age, I was in relationships where at the time I was convinced I was in love. Actually being separated might have actually meant that we stayed together for that time and then split up a couple of months after being back. But at the time when you're super in love, you're so committed, aren't you? It's hard to say, oh, just because you're young, fuck, you're going to try and shag everything.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't think anyone sets out like, oh, I'll do long distance and now I'm going to try and shag everything. I think they're both going to feel, this is my opinion on long distance relationships, is both people end up yearning for a closeness or a partner, and you can't, it takes a lot of effort and commitment to maintain it. So if you feel like you've got that, if you feel like you can trust your partner 1,000% and you know that you're not going to do anything, you know that she's not going to do anything, then fair enough, give it a go. But I think, and I don't want to be speaking out of turn again, I don't want to upset one of our biggest listeners. I think if you're writing that question in and asking, oh, what do you think? Do you think they work? You already know that it doesn't.
Are you going to marry this girl? Like, is Harry Robinson about 23? He seems like a super smart guy. He's old, like he's mature for his age relatively. I mean, listens to this bollocks, so he can't be that mature. But if in your head you were where Carl is with Serica, like she's the one, I'm marrying her, then you can do it. But if there is, like Adam's saying, if there's a bit of doubt, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to your missus, and I'm sure she's sound, and even if you're like quite happy, just go and bang some American birds. He's from Wigan. Oklahoma might be one of the few places in the world where you can turn up going, you're right, I'm from Wigan. They're like, oh my God, I'm so fucking moist. You sound like Hugh Grant.
Immediately as well.
Oh my God.
I'm from fucking Wigan. Oh my God, Get me a map.
Yeah. At customs.
But
you're right, I'm from Wigan. Have you got your pay? Oh my God, you don't need paperwork. I just want to nosh you off in an airport.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, though.
But absence makes the eyes go wander as well.
Where you're being weirdly creepy. I don't want you to whisper it again.
My brilliant rhyme.
Carl.
Absence.
We're not pushing over.
What did you say?
You say absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
I said absence can make your eyes go wander.
Right.
Or make your hair go blonder.
You're on particularly special form, Mr. Rowe. Half anglicised Rowe. It's weird when he whispered it. You can't. This is one of those instances where not having the headphones makes it difficult because Carl's just like, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Absence makes you look like Jane Fonda.
Absinthe makes everyone look fucking great. Listen, you don't want to be the old guy going, did you fuck everything? But just take that win. You're from Wigan and some birds are going to think, God, you sound sexy. When's that ever going to fucking happen? Go and bang some Oklahoma
I don't think it's as
Hunan.
I don't think it's as blunt as that to leave
Do it for
your
me,
partner.
Harry. Do it for me.
I just
want to
think
live through you.
If there's any doubt in you, you don't want to end up cheating on someone you care about and hurting them. So you might as well have the difficult conversation of, look, I know people who've gone, right, I'm going away and you're going away and we need to be able to do our own thing and whatever. And then they end up getting back together. And then anything that's happened in the meantime hasn't broken.
We were on a break.
Essentially. Like, there's our mate Pete Otway, who's been on the couch. Him and his missus broke up when they were like 17 and went off to uni. And now they're back together with 2 kids. Because they had their years apart and come back together because they loved each other.
Yeah, I think you're sort of skewing that story with hindsight a little bit. They didn't split up for a temporary state and be like, we'll get back together.
No.
They just split up.
That's not what I'm not saying he should split up with this girl and go, we'll definitely get back together, because then if you meet someone over there, you'll feel like you can't get with them, and maybe you might meet a girl and want to stay in Oklahoma for the rest of your life.
Don't do that.
That might happen.
Don't do that.
But it might happen, and you don't want to restrict that. You need to be able to live your life openly, and you're going to feel constantly like you've got to give someone on the other side of the planet attention while you're over there. You're not going to enjoy your experience as much if you're tied to that, in my opinion. That's my opinion. We've been asked our opinion.
But if she's the one, ride it out.
No, if she's the one, then you'll get back together anyway.
No. I don't think so.
Like, you can't say to someone, listen, you're going away, it's too difficult to split up. It's not like, yes, it's nice cozying up and you do need intimacy. But if you're properly in love, no other person can replace that intimacy. Like, if you're an outright shagger or if you've got massive insecurities, maybe they could. But, like, if they are absolutely star-crossed lovers in love, then a year, it's not ideal. And also, is she going to be... If she's supportive, like, she sounds sound. If she's like, go to Oklahoma, it's an amazing opportunity, go and do it. I'll be here when you get back.
There's also the possibility, though, where she's like, go to Oklahoma, it's a great opportunity. That's a possibility as well.
Well, yeah, there is that. I'm staying in Wigan for all that dick. Go, Harry. Be the first Wiganite to go to Oklahoma. I will stay here in the gene pool.
I think he should. If they're meant to be together, just stay together. You don't have to go and... It's only a year.
Of course you're going to say that, Carl.
It's only a fucking year. You're the
most sensible person ever. You're
okay,
in a more committed relationship than I am, and I've got 2 kids, a wife, and a fucking mortgage.
Let me ask you this question, Carl.
Yes.
Right. Do you think it is better for him to try and stay together and one of them end up doing something wrong and it's broken forever, or to have the difficult conversation and then...
Why? If they're meant to be together, why would they do something wrong?
No. But if they are the options...
He's so cynical. If you go...
I'm not being cynical.
I'm not. I don't know the girl, but I think as soon as you're on fucking American ground, I don't blow bang. That's all I'm saying.
Put it this
Probably
way.
gang bang.
If Serica went, now I'm going away for a year, do you think we'd have to break up? No, because you know we're meant to be together, and it's only a year. And I'm not going to go and shagging anywhere since now this shit.
You are being a bit pessimistic.
It totally depends on the relationship. If it's a new relationship, then why fucking waste your time? Yeah.
I think if Serica was going away for a year, I don't think there's any way you don't go with her.
No, there isn't.
But that's my point.
No, but the thing is, this is a job opportunity, isn't it?
No. Like, because you and Serica are meant to be together, and you're a couple, and are impenetrable and unbreakable, she wouldn't go away for a year without you with her. He is going away for a year plus whatever without her. They're different situations for that exact reason. So if Serica was like, I'm going away for a year, and you were like, I don't want to go, I can't, then I think...
Yeah, but I also
if you were in that situation, you might...
Carl can't go away for a year. He can't leave us. So if Serica got a teaching opportunity, let's say, in Oklahoma at the university, you can't leave this now. The ball's rolling. We literally can't do without you.
Yeah, I'd let her go.
And also, we're at the start of something Like, it doesn't always work out. They're like, well, you're meant to be together, so you have to go with her.
I'd want to, but I'd be like, right, you need to do your thing, I need to do mine. A year, we'll get over it. We'll get through it.
Can I say,
totally
I
different.
have never done long distance relationships, and I'm not trying to be cynical, and I'm not trying to be. It's fucking hard work. Like at 23, I'm not even just trying to be dismissive, but I was like, there's loads of people in the world. Find someone within half an hour.
Yeah. Like, I'm a bit more sort of...
Lazy love. How far? You fucking well fit, love. 15 miles.
Look, I'm genuinely, like, for all the sort of brute force misogyny at times on this podcast, I'm a bit of a romantic man. And I do like the idea of we've all got one person and you're meant to be with certain people and you're not meant to be with other people.
Bullshit.
And I do like that. I think going away in this situation is... I think there's more chance of you going, right, we'll stay together, and you ruining it forever if you stay together. I think having the conversation and going, look, we need to not be a couple while I'm away. And look, we never know what the future holds. You can even stay as friends in that time if the relationship allows for that. You've got to consider her and your needs and stuff. But I think there's more danger of you damaging this relationship with this person forever, irreparably, by staying together. I think that's more at risk by staying together than it is by having the conversation and breaking up temporarily, or maybe
Problem is, if she doesn't want to do that temporary breakup, that you're still fucking ruining it. Like, I know what you mean. You're like, you be honest, and you say it's probably going to be difficult. So, but all I'm saying is we should separate. If she goes, I don't want to separate, I'll wait for you. It's still fucked. Because you can be like, no, we are going to be friends for a year. You've still ruined it at that point. You've both got to.
You have.
Yeah, you have. Because you can't enforce a break on a girl. That's dumping her. If your partner doesn't go, yeah, I'll have a year off. So if Harry turns around and goes,
but if they're meant to be together, she will get over that. And when he comes back, it could reignite if she hasn't met someone else. Because she will get over that. She will get over that conversation. When she's spoken to all her friends and family and they've gone, look, we understand that he's an arsehole. Eventually she will see the reasons he did that. If he fucks someone or she fucks someone,
maybe. But if he goes and says, on a technicality, we're on a break now, so you'll have to agree, we're just going to be friends, and then goes and fucks loads of girls, she's not going to be over it.
I don't know. I think she's more likely to get over that than actual cheating. And I'm not saying he would.
Oh, yeah, she is, but I think they're both, like,
reprehensible.
Can you imagine
none of it's ideal. It's the lesser of two evils.
Do you imagine if Harry got back in touch like, we've only been seeing each other 2 weeks? I'd be like, fucking hell, Harry!
I think he's already made this decision.
It's all right, Carl. I know you love relationships. Guys, Carl just got a little bit emotional. I think the camera's gone off.
I think he's already made this decision. He just wants to kick off a nice subject, which has happened. So maybe he's not looking for advice. He's just trying to contribute to the podcast.
But what we now know is, if Adam goes away, something's getting fucked. That's what I'm saying. Like, there is a point.
If I went away for a year, I would say to Sam, come with me. And if she was like, I can't, I'd be like, look, I love you, but I just don't see a way. Like, I know how needy she is. I know that, like, I'm a mathematician. You play the statistics.
What a douche he thinks.
I'm a mathematician.
And that's why I get all the pussy. And that's how I get the girls in Oklahoma. Ladies, I'm from Liverpool and maybe South Africa, and I'm a mathematician. Fucking hell. Well, Harry Robinson, I don't know if you got what you wanted from that, but motherfucker, you started a debate.
That's
got to be seriously into a relationship to do long distance for a year.
You could do
Go put your oak in Oklahoma.
Hey!
Or you could do bumhole zooms.
What's happening, guys? Are you on board the CBD oil train yet? Whether you are or you aren't, you should head to supremecbd.uk, one of the official sponsors of the Have a Word podcast, and get yourself some premium CBD oil product, from gummy bears to the oil itself. This stuff has got a million uses. It can help with anxiety. It can help you sleep. It can help with aches and pains. It's really, really brilliant. It's been helping me and a lot of other people. Now, if you go to supremecbd.uk and use the special promo code WORD. That's WORD. You get 30% off everything you order, and they slide us a little bit of money for sending you their way. That's how sponsorship works. They sponsor the podcast. We push you their way. It's a money game, baby. But you're going to get money off your CBD. And what's better than money off? Nothing. Go get it. SupremeCBD.UK. Have you even used this mug yet? Or have I?
I love cock.
I got you this for Christmas.
And this says a lot about my sexuality. I'm less bothered about what it's got on it. I don't like what it would have in it. I'm not a hot beverage drinker. But, you know, the I love cock thing should probably register, as I'm a cisgendered straight man.
Learning the lingo.
I know.
Learning the lingo. Dane Baptiste is here.
Talking about cisgendered. Sorry, should have had it straight.
Well, you want to presume, so it's all good, Dan. It's all good. It's all good. So it's so much more of a fluid thing now when we talk about sexual orientation and gender itself.
It is, so, it is, Dane, and that is a tightrope that we have walked in the first section today. And I've decided to say pan before everything, and then I think it means you can be what you want and fuck what you want. There you go.
Well, pan means everything, doesn't it? Pansexual is I will fuck anyone that lets me.
But it pertains to human beings, though, right? Because then if you fucked anything, would that be omnisexual?
Oh. Right.
Is what I'm asking. Because
if you stuck your dick in a crumpet, that's not part of being pansexual.
Would you, I guess you'd be more of an omnisexual. But then if you stuck your dick in like French bread, then you would still be a pansexual, I guess. So.
He's gone straight in. I love it. I'm fucking having that, Dane. Someone's brought jokes. that was such a well-formed joke. I was like, what's happening? Oh, God.
Listen.
Thanks for coming up.
My pleasure, man. And by that same token, I do want to come empty-handed, man. So at least with a little bit of material and trying out. But no, I love the operation you guys got here. Obviously, long friend of the southern comedy caucus. So
you've been sharing our stuff since back in the day. I've got a little internal list of the good eggs who from the off were like, yeah, man, this looks good.
Well, I think I'm in a WhatsApp group with all of them. So I'm in a WhatsApp group with like 8-9 other comics, and it was set up at the start of the pandemic, and it was it's called content creators. And basically, when any of us puts a clip on social media, we put the link in that group and we all immediately share it. So every clip from everyone in that group immediately gets like 10 retweets.
But you were doing this before that. You were sharing, like you, Ishan, Rob Mulholland, I remember right from the off were giving us a solid share. Who's in the cunt tent?
Me, Dane, Rob Mulholland, Ishan.
Also Daniel Muggleton holding it down from down under.
So he's the Aussie guy that always wears an Adidas tracksuit top. Yeah. His stuff is funny, man. Yeah. He's great. I've never worked with him.
I lived with him in Edinburgh a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Really Dan's a cool guy, man, and he kind of definitely always supports me because he's from Sydney originally. So when I'm in Australia, I'll do like Melbourne and then do a few weeks in Sydney. So I always hang out with him then as well.
Nice.
Really cool guy, man.
Kate Cairds in it. Ori Styler. Is anyone else? Am I missing anyone?
I think that's everybody.
Is everyone now?
I think anyone missed.
Share people's stuff.
Absolutely, man. I feel like we should be like a ecosystem unto ourselves, and share whatever we can.
Just
man.
Helps, doesn't it?
It does, and it helps that your stuff ain't shit. That takes away the full.
I'm not sharing cunt stuff.
Yeah.
It's got to be good, and you can't be a cunt. You can be the best comic in the world, and if you're a bell end, it's not getting a retweet.
Yeah.
Pete Johansson. And that was such an unnecessary...
Right, for no reason. That's rare on this podcast.
Exactly. You've woken up and chosen violence.
What's your beef there?
No, I just thought he's a bit of a fucking... He's a bit aggro in a dressing room sometimes, isn't he?
I don't know.
He's irked me a couple of times.
I feel you.
Just play nice in a dressing room. You don't have to be my bezo. Just pretend you like me.
I
think play fucking nice.
In a green room, if you're not with your friends, you've got to be the soundest person in the world. And in a green room, if you're with your friends, you get to be the biggest cunt in the world and it's more fun.
Absolutely. But I think this comes down to the fact that there's a lot of people who have either been in the industry for so long that their just ability to relate to people normally is gone, or it's people that have gone from, I guess, the drama school to stage pipeline where they have very rarely interact with people anyway. So they just don't know how to conduct themselves professionally in a green room. And so, like, where I've ever had fallen out with comedians, it's nothing specific about their personality. It's more of a question of they've flippantly said something rude or been dismissive or been curt to someone else or myself in agreement. I've been like, look, I make it very clear. This shit is fine on the stage when you're doing all this other stuff. Your parents will come to see you. I'm not your fucking friend, innit? I'm a colleague. So unless you want your parents to see you in a state that's going to distress them, change your fucking attitude. In this green room.
Anyone sharing a dressing room with Dane Baptiste, don't
What
fuck
an eloquent way to tell someone you're going to punch their head in.
Yeah, but not.
If you want your parents
right?
to see you in a distressing way,
Because it's
keep
always
going.
there's a type, right? There's a type of person where it's like, you know, because most green rooms, they're like store cupboards or like rooms like, you know, where people are keeping like, you know, kegs of fucking beer and shit. So there's airs and graces aren't needed for it. So it's kind of like, and also I feel like as a comic, we're supposed to have the solidarity because it's us against them to an extent, like everyone outside.
Yeah.
We're trying to have a good night and trying to, you know, win this audience over. We can't do that if we're all trying to compete with each other. We're all on the same bill. So
Mate,
there's no need for it.
it's brilliant. Like that. There's only how many hundred of us that can be paid to do stand up in this country. There is it's a gang. And if you don't know, I remember when I met Zoe Lyons, never met her before. She'd heard me, I'd heard of her, and then she'd been filming something, and we'd gone out for drinks afterwards. I think we were in Cardiff, and someone went, "Oh, Dan Nightingale's there." I was the only other comic there, and she came over and went, "Hey, Dan," and it was because we're part of this little,
Exactly.
we're part of a little union without it being unionised. And every time you go in a dressing room, you're in that state. You're like, very few people in the world can do this.
Yeah.
We should at least, even if you've got like had a shit day or whatever, the crowd's not good, there should be a little bit of teamwork just for that hour or two.
Absolutely.
I 100% agree until someone really pisses me off.
Yeah.
And there was one time, now I'm not going to name the comic, I will tell you what club it was because it's going to be obvious anyway. Hot water. So there was a comic who'd really been audible to me a couple of times. And had slagged me off and was just being a bit of a prick and then was moaning that Hot Water didn't book him. Right? So Hot Water went, "Come down on a Wednesday and do a tryout." And I seen he was on the bill. And I rang and said, "Can I be on? And can I be on third and make sure he's fourth?" And I went,
Adam, can I ask you a question? Did you do brand new material that night by any chance?
No. I volleyed Victoria's Secret jokes all over that building. And that the comic did not have a good gig, and it was really satisfying because I am team comic until comic is cunt.
Hell yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
then they're not team comic, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not.
It's not that I'm not team comic. They're not, and they
team comic.
deserve. Yeah.
And even if you don't like somebody, unless like that person is doing something, or you know they've done something to hurt another human being, and even then, that could be a law enforcement matter anyway. But it's like you really only have to spend like 20 minutes with this person anyway. So like, how much emotional baggage are you going to give this person? And like, I had something very similar at the Comedy Store with a comedian who accused me of stealing his material on my appearance on Live at the Apollo. So he really went for it. Now,
waited to the dressing room, didn't get you a message?
No,
just waited till he saw you.
He posted something cryptic, and actually, Adam was the one who told me about it. So thank you very much. And so like first time I did that, and he was like, "Just so you know, this guy is like talking shit." And so rather than make it a big
that WhatsApp group's quality, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've got some shit you might want to share, but I also got some shit I heard about you.
Exactly. Adam came to me with the tea, and I was very gracious. And the thing is, like, obviously, I wanted to be like, "Well, what the fuck, bro?" But my manager was kind of like, "Well, what's the piece?" And the guy was like, "Well, I didn't say his name directly, but like I just implied it and people drew their own conclusions. So I didn't do anything. And where there's smoke, there's..." It's like, "Oh, shut up, bro." And
it's just a pussy way of
basically
pointing
a pussy way of it. But then when I saw him at the Comedy Store, like I was thinking they could do a confrontation, but like I said, I think success is always the best revenge. So I'm like, I'll go in after you and burn this place down just so you can hear in the back. Because if you've been to the Comedy Store in London as well, you've got the video feed as well, and you can also hear. So he just heard, "Yeah." and I'm like, "You can check me on iPlayer, Live at the Apollo." Just so you know.
Dane, one of the few times that anyone's left the dressing room and also turned the volume on the TV up in the dressing room. Dane, are you turning that up? Yeah. I think you might want to hear this.
I've seen you do that.
Do what?
Turn the volume up in the green room in Hot Water.
Why?
As a joke, like, I want you to watch this. When I used to work there.
To watch someone else?
No, you got on stage and left the green room and hired the volume up on a telly.
No.
As a joke, I promise you have.
Oh,
I think it was like Paul and me.
I actually think
you weren't doing it as like.
I was there last week at Hot Water and the sound was down. And like Rob Thomas is sat there chatting away like he hasn't hung out with any mates for ages, which is why he's enjoying it. Because we haven't, have we? Like we said about it last week. Getting in that dressing room for the first time in 5 months was like, hey, buddy, hey.
Exactly.
But then like you were on comparing and the sound was down. You're like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
We should have all like gone for a beer beforehand or a coffee or something. Because to have the sound on, it's kind of important. Because what if I've got new material and Adam's, just by chance, we've not checked notes. So having the sound up makes sense. But if you know you're going to burn someone to the ground, just get it up a little higher.
I also made it a point of principle that all the material I did had absolutely no relevance to what he did. So it wouldn't even sound remotely like it. And I was just like, and to be honest, again, like I said, it's just, you want to get pissed off and confront people. But at this point, it's kind of like, why be that emotionally involved? And like, I'm not going to get upset about a comedian in his 50s who still plays a mouth organ. So
narrowing it down.
Narrowing it right down.
There are some guys who I like and respect who can be a bit of a menace in a dressing room. Like Jeff Innocent is a quality comic. And he has always been so sound to me. But if he's in the mood, you can see him just be like, I'm going to cause some shit. I've seen him do it. You just sat there. All of a sudden, you just get what happened to Peter Johansson about 10 minutes ago. All of a sudden, you're like, what the fuck am I taking 5 for? Excuse me, Dan, what were you saying about that? I'm like, why am I being interrogated? Or he just starts some shit between two other comics, and it's just because he's a cantankerous old cunt. He's like, this dressing room's really nice and boring.
The thing is, like with someone going, oh, he's done like one of my bits or something similar on the Apollo or something. Don't, like, again, team comic, message you.
Just message me, just message me.
Like, last week at Hot Water, Justin Morehouse went on and did a bit about COVID-y stuff.
Yeah.
That I've been doing sort of for like the past 9 months when gigs were allowed to come back. I wrote a bit about how I clapped for the NHS, but I didn't clap for the rest of the key workers because they don't deserve it, right? And he did something very similar.
Yeah.
And I just said to him in the green room, I went, by the way, got something dead similar to that.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation, isn't it? Because parallel thoughts.
It's great minds. That used to be the thing before we all became such individualists and egos. Like great minds. Like, you know, if you are a good comic and you are, you know, observing something from a particular angle, the odds are there's going to be some intersect between you and other equally competent comedians getting to that same point. Like it's even I watch like. And this is not me making a direct comparison, but it's like when Bill Burr has a bit on like sex dolls and stuff like that, and you're like, oh shit, Bill Burr's working out material on sex dolls. For me, it's more, I consider it like a compliment. I'm like, maybe I'm moving in the right direction, like, you know, artistically, because I'm covering something
one
very
of the
similar.
best.
Yeah, one of the best. So you're like, oh, we're going in the same direction. Nowhere near the same, but it's like, well, if he's doing stuff on material like that, it means, you know, your mind's going in the right way, or maybe you're looking in the right places for material. But it's like, I remember when they had the Idris Elba story about him being the next James Bond. Every other black comic had a bit on a black James Bond, and at first it was like, you know, stuff
and
like
one white one,
and one very good white one, yeah. And I imagine loads of good white ones, but it's kind of like at first everyone had a very similar premise, and at first I was like, everyone has to be doing the same joke. But I'm like, no, of course, it's gonna be pertinent to everybody. So then, really, as a comedian, you can spend the time where you're like, well, your joke sounds like my joke, and maybe you shouldn't do the joke if I'm on the same bill as well. But really, should be more exciting is the challenge of coming up with material that is different from anybody else's. And so, because that's supposed to be the biggest payoff. It's not just we're funny. It's Adam's got this bit that you got to hear about Black James Bond, and Dan's got this bit that you want to hear about. So
there's no hack premise.
There's no hack premise.
As long as you get to funny in your own way. Yeah.
The idea is as long as you get there and no one else sees where you're going anyway, then that's supposed to be the part of it in the first place.
If your idea is original enough on the premise, then we could all have a Black James Bond bit and do them all on the same night, and the audience won't be like, hang on.
Pandemic's been a fucker for that.
Yeah.
I watched Nate Bargatze's new special that was filmed probably 6 months ago in Vegas. Nate Bargatze's Tennessee Kid special is the most interesting stand-up. There's no swearing. It's clean. And I watched it twice before I realised it was clean because he's not selling it as that. He's just got a quirky, underselling, geeky kind of way of telling these really funny stories. Second special, he's got 5 minutes about COVID and the pandemic that genuinely any one of our colleagues on the circuit in the UK. And his Tennessee Kid special is one of the most popular on Netflix for one of the non-superstars.
Yeah, great.
That 5 minutes at the start of the second special is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's COVID stuff and it's fine because it doesn't matter if you're a Netflix American comic, if you are a middling UK average circuit comic, we've all lived the same life for nearly a year and a half.
Exactly.
And there's only so many angles you can have. So when it comes to Justin, in your head, you've got to be like, yeah, we've all done such a similar job.
Yeah. Even against our will in many cases where, like, as much as we'd like to have a different day, you're waking up within a lockdown and you're going to have quite a very similar routine and practice. So I think it's probably interesting time as well because it's leveled the playing field because like I said, we've all had a shared experience. So really for you to distinguish yourself as a comic now, you're going to have a perspective that's different from anybody else's or like, and I guess that's going to be...
that's the challenge you were talking about.
Yeah.
Premises aren't hack. Where are you going with it?
That's why I've tended with me COVID stuff to go really harsh. Yeah. Because I know that a lot of people won't. They won't absolutely go on stage and go, let's kill most of the old people. Yeah. So I'll do that. Because not many other people are going to do that.
Dominic Cummings and the Prime Minister might beat you to that shit. Because this is the thing. Satire is getting... I got to say, Adam, I'm on board with it. But satire is getting harder and harder. Because literally, yesterday, the guy came out and it was like, on the right on the whiteboard, who should we kill? Who should we let die?
Did you watch any of the Dominic Cummings stuff?
I just seen clips of it.
Oh, it's so
unreal.
Good.
Yeah,
it's like it was from the inquiry. It's what's unnerving about it is like, you know, when like the government's released documents 25 years later, you're like, this shit was very recently. Like, it was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a year ago.
It was within the calendar year, you fucking psychopath.
Yeah, it's now. It's now. It's seriously, satire used to be like a cornerstone of British comedy. That shit is getting harder and harder and harder because the stuff that they actually do is stranger than fiction. Like even when they said, they even asked the dude, didn't it? Matt, what's his face? Hancock, yeah, they were like, this stuff's true, and he was like, nah, don't worry, I got a new Great Britain top in that, and
he runs off.
And I know it sounds like I'm trying to like, I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much was like, I
wish Matt Hancock spoke like that.
He was like, I was busy. Look at this, I was busy. Like, this is new, you know, this is authentic. And then he ran off, and they was like, was it even true? And he was like, yeah, don't worry about that, bro. What is happening? Like.
I really wish my man got
I'll tell you, we're not far off. We're not far off. Like even when when they were like, what about the people that died? And he was like, no, yeah. I mean, I was like, what is going on? Like, and Preeti Patel she's just out here just playing like supervillain top trumps. So that someone will be like, well, then 100,000 people died. And she's like, well, if it was me, I'd make 200,000 people die. Like, all right, Pre. I wouldn't even let my dad in the country. You've got the job. What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
I take them all in a boat and sink it. That's what I think.
The Tories knew exactly what they were doing with Preeti Patel. They must have been like, senior Tories must be like, she's fucking psycho, this one. And like, but she's an Asian psycho. Yeah, that's so everyone's going to be like, okay, I'm sure it's fine. If she was like a middle-aged white Tory, they'd be like, Preeti, you are not allowed to be a minister.
They'd have to
anything.
She'd have to be in a castle.
Frightening, mate.
She'd have to be in a castle with a moat. Like seriously.
Yeah. But because she's a relatively young Asian woman, they're like, no, she is scary, isn't she? But you can't say anything because you're white. She's Asian.
And she's not supposed to have this level of power. Like you can look at Preeti Patel and know that she bit people in secondary school. You know she used to bite people. Preeti bit me. That's ridiculous. Why would I? And then there's teeth marks right there. Well, I'm sorry for your family. Blah blah blah. Maybe you deserve. Like you could see her pushing an old lady down the stairs. Yeah, I'd be like easily doing that. I could easily see her.
She's called Pretty as well.
Yeah, to get away with it. That's what I'm
saying. My favourite bit of watching the Dominic Cummings thing yesterday was when he started describing the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Did you see that bit?
That's bizarre.
Did you not see it?
No.
He went, right, so it basically, you know, Matt Hancock's pointing at the cabinet and they're pointing at him, and then Boris Johnson's pointing at both of them and they're both pointing back at Boris. It's like that Spider-Man meme. It's like, Dominic, this is a public inquiry.
I'm telling you.
Like, it's on public record as part of a British history.
Spider-Man meme.
Spider-Man meme. Yeah.
It's like that Spider-Man meme.
Yes.
It was so good. He was like a bitter ex who'd kept every screenshot.
Every receipt as well.
Yeah.
And then the best part was when Boris Johnson was like, nah, it's so safe. They can inject me with it on TV. And then that's how they know it's safe. And someone's like, Boris, that's kind of stupid. No, I'm not stupid. I can't be stupid. I'm the Prime Minister. No, what you're doing, Boris, is a bad idea. People will die. Yeah, but... some people would live. Maybe that's the level of dialogue. Like it sounds like I'm simplifying it, but that's how they talk. It's like, and then Preeti's like, if it was me, I'd let everybody die. Like we know Preeti, relax, man.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll kill anybody. I don't care. I'll kill any. Like,
I done 3 nanas today.
Preeti Patel, she would call a girl fat at her 16th birthday party. Like easy. She'd be like, not too much icing. You are quite chubby.
Happy birthday to you.
Preeti would definitely do that.
Yeah. How are you meant to do satire on these cunts?
Seriously.
Trump killed satire, didn't he?
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh,
That's what it was.
How
It was like
can
Trump
you do
comedy
a Trump bit?
became boring.
Yeah.
Because like when he's going like, I'm sure Bill there talking about this on an episode of Conan, where he was like, you called all women lunatics, and he was like, no, I said that about Rosie O'Donnell, and then they went, no, you said it about all women, and he went, nah, I probably did. like, how can you satirize a man who's like, all
He's
women
satirizing himself though.
Yeah.
Like the
All the
bleach
time.
so ridiculous. What comedian can be like, oh, I tell you, tell you what's funny about Trump. You're like, him.
Yeah.
Like just watching him. Like it's difficult to do if you tried to write a joke about the Spider-Man meme and do it as stand-up. You'd be like, yeah, it was absolutely absurd on its own.
Yeah, and the exposés make it worse because then it's like, I've got the hidden track about Donald Trump, and you're like, well, this will be surprising. And then you're like, all he eats is cheeseburgers, and we're like, yeah, anyone could guess that. Like, anyone would know that he hasn't got a favorite restaurant. Like, where's he going? So all he eats is cheeseburgers, and then our guy was like, he doesn't laugh at anything other than other people's misfortune, and we're like, yeah,
It's all believable.
yeah, it's all believable. There's not one thing happens. Like even he would fuck his own daughter. Like he says it all the time. Yeah. We know. Like
He told us.
He told us. He told us
On the news.
Yeah.
Donald Trump went on the news and said, I'd fuck my own daughter.
That bleach bit killed me off.
The
bleach bit.
He said
Why don't we just
injecting
put
the bleach.
bleach in
Putting bleach in our bodies, and the doctor just went, "Oh my god,
Yeah, the woman was like,
we are not together."
Trump's the best thing that happened to Boris Johnson because
Yeah.
like Boris Johnson's basically done like the primary school version of that with like
Pretty
I
much.
could be injected on TV. Like he's a blonde buffoon, but like there's a fucking like A-level blonde buffoon
Absolutely.
across the water.
if Donald Trump is Elvis, then like Boris Johnson is like Shaking Stevens.
That's never ever been said out loud.
That's such a good
But
analogy.
everybody has been thinking it. Through, and I would have said, and I didn't think there would be a world where Shaking Stevens had a place in bipartisan politics, but here we are,
Here we are.
2021. Here we
Yeah.
are. Here we are. Just like the gypsy woman said.
If you'd have asked me what references we were going to do today, Dane, I wouldn't have guessed you were going to bang out a Shaking Stevens. The whitest fucking reference in history.
I am very well travelled, Dan. Nightingale.
He just out-whited us. Oh my god.
That being said, listen, Shaking Stevens, Christmas time, banging it out
Banger.
every single time. It's up there with Wham with one of the classic Christmas Carol classics.
Dun-na, dun-na, all around me.
Christmas Carol classic.
Yeah, Christmas Carol classic.
Yeah, Carol.
Fun.
'Tis the season, love and understanding.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
I'm sure.
Driving home for Christmas is the best.
Yeah.
Banger.
I like a spaceman came travelling me. I don't know.
My favourite thing about Adam is he talks bullshit 85% of the time, but then it's a really charming thing when he's dead honest, like, I like a spaceman came travelling.
That's it.
Na, 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 na,
But I don't know
na,
why
na.
it's a Christmas song.
It's a banger, though, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? Like it's a Christmas song, but there's no reference to Christmas in it, is there?
Well, it's the nativity, isn't it?
Oh, it's about Jesus, isn't it?
No, isn't it a
Jesus the Spaceman.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Like some people believe that Jesus was an alien, don't they?
Oh, back to the bullshit. We're back.
No,
That being
people-
said, this is how bad it's got with satire, right? That we have the political equivalent of Shaking Stevens to compliment America's Elvis. That got so bad that the Pentagon finally went, do you know what, yeah? There's aliens. That's how crazy the last year has been, that the Pentagon was like, do you know, no, there is aliens.
Yeah.
There's loads of them. And what's that in the sky? We don't know. We don't.
Everyone went, yeah. But when can we drink inside? yeah, aliens, yeah.
People are
But
like
Nando's.
Yeah, when is that opening? Like this is outrageous. Still got to wear a mask to Walmart. There's literal aliens.
It's so random that everyone's just gone, yeah, probs.
No one cares.
Yeah, it's fine.
Nobody cares about aliens.
Absolutely.
After years and years.
Just to go back to what I was saying, some people believe that the light in the sky beam a light to Jesus being born. Some people believe there is a group of people who believe that could have been like a spaceman coming down.
Yeah. Well, there's a group of people that believe he was the son of an imaginary dude in the sky.
Yeah.
And they're a big group of people. There's loads of fucking...
Are you religious at all?
Yeah, I'd say I'm religious. I feel like
I retract my last comment.
No, you don't know because religion. Because this is the thing. Religion shouldn't be about what I believe. It should be about what I know. So if someone does say something to challenge said beliefs, I shouldn't get upset just because you said it. This is the problem with like faith. The idea about having it and knowing about something is that if someone says something, you shouldn't be like, "How dare you? You have no respect." You should be like, "Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion." Because really, I mean, all of them are exchanges of opinion, really. So I guess I would say I'm a religion in the sense that religion is supposed to be your relationship with your own spirituality, rather than being a part of any affiliated with anything.
Yeah, and not institutional religion, just your own personal faith.
Because they're all wrong and they're all right, and it's just whenever
you're pan-religious.
Yeah, I'm pan-religious.
Like any of your tattoos, any?
Yeah, so there's some. I mean, so that's this. These are from these are ancient Egyptian gods. So this is Osiris and this is Horus, and then these are just other stupidness that I wanted to put. And then this is a quote from Lenny Bruce.
What's it say?
It says, "And I'm not sick. The world is sick, and I'm a doctor. I'm a surgeon with a scalpel for false values."
Got him on there.
Yeah. So it's like what he was about, man. So
It's a bit, you gotta love the immense like change in tone that we can manage within seconds.
I like it though. I like that.
Well, yeah,
That's
fucking
it.
phenomenal. What an amazing Lenny Bruce quote.
On the
Jesus was a spaceman.
Well, you know.
What about Lenny Bruce?
But in the same vein, Lenny Bruce would have done the same thing. Yeah. So this is what I mean. Is about questioning stuff. But like, yeah, with the whole, I don't know, the whole spirituality thing. Like I said, I just my whole personal thing is in this idea of religion versus science is that I believe that religion needs to be a lot more scientific and science needs to be a lot more religious. In that religion is allowed to have ideas and beliefs, right, and be like, God says this and this. But then, like with science, you have a hypothesis and then you test that, and then based on your results, you change your hypothesis or you confirm it. And that's what religion should do. So if they're like initially, well, the church is against homosexuality, for example, then you can simply test by allowing members of the LGBT community to be members of the church. If they are beneficial and you know, like anybody else, they want to share in a collection of love and a higher love, then it means you have to change your findings because very clearly these people have souls and they love God just like you do.
Yeah, most religions desperately need an iPhone update, don't they?
It just needs an update because the world is changing. So, you know, your belief system should be able to adapt in accordingly. By the same token, it's like science is kind of like, there's a lot of things where it's like, I say it should be a bit more religious in that just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like you should have like a reverence for like nature. So it's like, even though there's certain things you can do, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to do them. So for example, like fracking or some shit like that. So
there's probably factions within science that are a bit more like hardline and a bit more tolerant. It's the same within religions, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm saying religion could do with an update. There are loads of the religion, like there's degrees, isn't there? There's a spectrum. It's not like if you're a Christian, you're not. Obviously, there's denominations, but there's some very liberal Christians, and then there's some hardliners.
Absolutely, but
I've never thought about it the other way around. That science needs to be more
kind of be more dividing because it's not everything that you can do, you should do. So or like there's certain elements that might make logical sense, but they may not make humanitarian sense. Or like it's kind of like, well, capitalism itself is a religion. There's no like basis for how that system works. So it's like, if we know we can cure cancer and cancer will benefit and curing cancer will benefit mankind, then really as a scientist, it's not something you should be selling to people. In the same way that it's like, if you know you create a drug or something, like at some point, somebody came up with Rohypnol, right? And someone could have been like, we should make sure this doesn't get into the wrong hands and be used as a date rape drug. And then the other one was like, yeah, we'll make a lot of money. So it's like, yeah, fine. So stuff like that. Or just like atomic energy in general, innit? It's like, once you worked out that you could do nuclear fission and detonate a nuclear warhead, cool, we know, but we should probably leave it here because now we live in a world of mutually assured destruction where shitloads of money goes towards the proliferation of nuclear weapons in different countries and stuff. And it's like,
it's all business, baby.
Yeah, and business. And
so is science. So are the COVID vaccines.
Exactly, and it shouldn't always be like that because it's kind of like if it was a point where people aren't able to buy it, so they're going to die. Is that going to benefit humanity long term? Because I look at it on a scale like, for example, you know, if you have a working class upbringing, you may have a superior aptitude to do a certain job than someone who comes from a more privileged background. But because the way the world is designed, we're not a meritocracy whereby you get to have the maximum opportunity to realize your potential.
Fuck yeah.
But on a larger scale, that don't benefit humanity. So then scientifically, to me, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, and so far, again, going back to the political stuff, they try to reduce exam results to a fucking algorithm where they were like, okay, so if you're from a poor area, you go to a public school, then we'll automatically downgrade you. Whereas if you go to a private school, the curve goes up.
Yeah. You've totally lost a year of potential talent.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, shouldn't we all be working towards the ultimate benefit of mankind? In the same way where I'm like, scientifically, it should be able to be proven, if we give all human beings a base access level to education and universal healthcare, then you live with that playing field, or we're all up to optimal state of humanity, then we can all contribute towards making the world a better place.
Spot on. But
Scientifically,
you're not,
that should make sense.
That's where money fucks things up.
There you go.
Who controls the money? We rally against Tories and like institutional wealth and like the upper classes all the time. It's the most obvious thing in the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't suit them to give genuine opportunity to the poorest, to everyone, because they want to sow their oats.
Yeah,
they want to make
maintain
sure
a
that
position
their
of power,
children,
absolutely.
that they're like.
But then when you juxtapose that with Darwinist theory, where that's not survival of the fittest, that's survival of the richest. And so if we're going to have a society which is based on your capital wealth gives you a preferred position in our hierarchy, well, then that contradicts all of the Darwinist theory about the fact that if you're genetically predisposed to survive, then you should survive, because those aren't the same things. Because we know that, for a start, people who are very, very wealthy fuck each other's cousins. Scientifically, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I went to uni with some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But you see,
You?
Eddie from Edinburgh.
What, he fucked his cousin?
I'm just guessing, but he fucking looked like it. The problem with that is, I think you speak to people who are privileged, and in terms of like their inheritance and their lineage and everything, they're like, of course, if a young fellow from an underprivileged community, we should give them a scholarship. But if it comes down to their kid not getting something, they'll never accept it.
Exactly.
It's like, of course, we'll give away a little bit of charity to help the poorer folk, especially if they're outstanding. What if your Eddie doesn't get a place at like a university because he's a fucking idiot? Oh, no. Edward's a talented young man. That's the problem, isn't it? It's a rigged game.
The problem. It's a massively rigged. I mean, even our industry.
You get me going. Let's have a revolution.
Even our industry itself, we're limited to the same thing where, you know, prior to us coming into comedy, I guess we kind of really started around a similar time, give or take a few years.
2010.
Yeah,
1933.
Well,
Yeah, I started.
You remember the good old days, yeah, exactly.
You were 83 at the
How's everyone doing? That was old, man. Old starter.
Lancashire.
I can't believe I tried to do a joke and I was like, it's not enough of a joke.
Sorry.
Not enough of a joke.
See, that's his
I'm
problem.
going to fuck you with a bit more.
Back in the day, it was a good joke. Back in the day, the 30s, that would have been a fucking treat.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, in this country, I feel like, you know, there was a point in time where they were able to convince most comedy audiences that racism was only something that white working class men did. So all of those clubs and all of those kind of acts suffered. And that was annexed by, you know, the kind of more Footlights, Monty Python kind of contingent of comedy, and, you know, the alternative comedy as well. And that's kind of like mutated into the point whereby it's seen as a given that, working class white people are the only racist people. So now we get replaced with people that are referred to as like liberal or being, you know, more inclusive. But then we all know that their life journey, they have no time spent around these supposed groups that they have solidarity with. And so you have this whole new landscape where it's like, it's almost as if a lot of people that working for various corporations or various production companies or media companies, it's like their parents just pay for them there so they can intern. And then, you know, they don't really have any real ingenuity, just did time to actually be there. And then that spreads like into journalism and everything, where it's like all of these creative pursuits can't be meritocratic, because just to supplement your normal lifestyle to pursue them, if you're from, you know, you come from Runcorn, you're trying to live in London to become like a journalist, how are you supposed to live and eat? The only people that can have that kind of lifestyle all come from a very similar background.
Yeah, if they just live at the parents in Surrey and get the training.
There you go. And it's
The
like,
Fringe is a great example of that.
Exactly, yeah.
How are you meant to do that from a working class background when they're like, yeah, it's going to cost you to do it properly, accommodation, probably about 1,500 quid.
Yeah.
How are you doing that if you're from a working class background? You're
precisely.
a young comic.
There you go.
But if you're from a family that can be like, of course we'll pay.
Yeah, it's fine. And so it's not really a meritocracy then. And for me, it's like, I mean, the game is the game, and you could argue, you know, anyone who has kids would want to like help their kids. But I'm saying when you juxtapose that with this idea of science and Darwinist theory and survival of the fittest, and all these middle class guys all riding Richard Dawkins' dick, it's like you seem to all be close with the theory, but in practice you don't really practice it.
Yeah, because people get very selfish that's the point, is that you can theorize that, like, of course I'm very liberal and I'm really forward thinking, and I love that idea that Dane was like, what about your own family? Oh yeah, of course I'm going to sort them out. Yeah, it works the same.
Because the real religion
I'm
is
definitely
capitalism.
guilty of that. Like, I think most people are.
Absolutely.
But it's not guilt. It's not guilt. It's a natural inclination of any human being to take care of the people that are close to you. The problem is the tool by which we have to do that is fiat currency currently, or like money.
Yeah.
Like we all, it's not something you put a price on, but it's the fact that anyone is naturally inclined to take care of their family. That is a biological instinct you have to make sure your gene pool is safe and best adapted for the new world. But now, like, the dice are loaded if money is what's going to determine that. Instead of you having natural predisposition stuff. Another example of middle class bullshit when it comes to like science and stuff, right, is like pedigree dogs. Because a dog is just supposed to be a canine. Like, even by their definition of species, a dog is a dog, irrespective of what breed it is. Breeding is a process we have where people will take dogs, reintroduce them to their own genes and stuff, for them to have negative genes, just so we like certain aspects of their appearance. So people like French bulldogs is like a big trend like a couple years back, right? So people are breeding French bulldogs. Most bulldogs, after a certain point, they're either going to have problems with fertility, they're going to have problems with respiration, they're going to have just normal degenerative problems because they are inbred, essentially, by being pedigree. But we breed them because we like how they look. Now, again, if you look at science...
just literally thought of every pug you see.
Yeah.
Like...
That's how bad
like,
they
your
look.
dog, this is honestly...
a pug's skull.
Yeah.
That's insane.
How much did you spend on your, like, oh, he's actually pedigree, he's 1,200 quid. Well, he looks like he can't breathe out.
So you've spent that, and you've basically, if you took the human equivalent of the process of breeding to make a dog like a pug, like it'd be a human rights abuse. But we inbreed these dogs because, like, even like Dalmatians and shit, and then their back legs go out by the time they get old. And again, it's like, this is nothing to do with survival of the fittest.
It's been happening for years. It's the House of Lords. Yeah. If you go to the House of Lords, it's just a load of 70-year-old white dudes struggling to breathe out. They are the British equivalent of
absolutely. Well, I say our national dog is the bulldog, right? A British bulldog, which is a breed of dog which is so inbred that they can barely conceive themselves without like a vet having to like inseminate them. That's how bad it is, and their respiration is so bad they barely live on into old age. And again, it's like I'm not challenging like Darwinist theory, but I'm like, I'd like to see an example of it before,
right?
Because you'll see middle class people on stage and be like, and even Ricky Gervais will be like, God, and the idea is laughable and blah 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 blah. But it's kind of like, but if we were in a world where it was survival of the fittest, like you being like 5'7" and having a podge like Ricky Gervais, like how far do you think you would go in a draconian world where alpha male displays will how we kind of like realize power and status in this world?
I'm someone's bitch back in the days. I know that.
So yeah,
I'd be quite high up, I think.
Yeah.
It depends on your environment or your tribe is, right?
Give me 6 generations. I'll run the game.
Where are you putting yourself in this room of all the people? Top? You alpha?
I reckon me and Dane would come to an agreement and we'd run the room.
Yeah, I think Dane would kill us all.
No, I wouldn't want us to die. We come together and we take over everybody else outside. That's what we do.
Yeah.
What's our
Make
role?
our children breed together. Yes. We'll start again.
Exactly. Start again.
I would send you guys to work and I would strategize from here.
Sounds a lot like nesting to me, Adam. We was doing some hunting gathering and
I'd just say no.
Here you go. Power of no.
Nah.
And that's how society was born.
Exactly.
Someone was like, no, I don't want to.
That's how royalty existed for the first time. The very first Adam went, "Oh, you go and do it. I'll just stay here. I'll be in charge. You bring stuff back." The very first Adam. I mean, yeah.
That sounds
if you
like
don't
my
do it,
missus
I'll
on
kill
a
you.
hangover.
Yeah.
I'll stay here. You bring stuff back.
There you go. And you were like, I'll do it because the royal lineage has to be protected.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, because she's guarding the entrance to the palace.
Yeah. Vagina.
Yeah, exactly.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Pussy.
Vagina. Everyone got it. Pussy. Old Jimmy innuendo. Filling in the gaps. Pussy. Vagina. Like an amazing 10-minute scratch where you're like, I'm really having to concentrate on what's being said. And I'm going, God, that is a really interesting point. Wrapped up with pussy.
Yeah, it's got to be done.
Vagina.
It's the bow tie for all discourse. Pussy is the ribbon for all male discourse. Let's be honest. I'd have been suspicious if it didn't come up at least once.
Yeah.
Like, just to the viewers, if you are having a healthy, in-depth conversation with other men, and your peers or contemporaries, and pussy's not mentioned once, you're in a police sting operation. It's a police sting
15
operation.
minutes without the word bomb.
Dominic Cummings did it at the inquiry. He did it in the inquiry yesterday after he finished the Spider-Man meeting. Everyone just was a lull and he went, pussy. Vagina.
They were like, Dominic, are you ready? Ready like a wet pussy. To go out there with the truth.
He said we are fucked on the telly, didn't he? At 10 in the morning.
Did he?
Yeah, he's on live telly. And they went, so what were you thinking at this stage? And he was like, we are fucked.
What?
Public inquiry.
And in one sentence, it just wins so many people over.
Sorry, I've got to make this clear. Dominic Cummings is an horrible, slimy cunt, and I would love to punch his head in, okay? Like, I don't like him. But yesterday's performance was phenomenal. I seen a great tweet which said something like, Dominic Cummings is not your friend, but it's great to watch your enemies throw grenades at each other.
Yes,
right?
it is. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's what this is. And watching him just, because like, he's faced with Jeremy Hunt and a few other MPs and Tories and stuff. And they're like going to him, well, Dominic, you say Boris Johnson is a useless, horrible cunt and wanted to kill people. But didn't you as well? And he was just, because he doesn't need to get elected, he was just going, yeah, I'm sorry. I did do all this too. So, soz, I did. And now, there's nothing you can do because I've admitted it and said sorry. And Boris Johnson can't do the same thing. He can't go, oh, I hold my hands up and vote for me. Dominic Cummings is essentially going, I fucked up. I should have resigned earlier than I did. Would have been better for the country. With hindsight, we should have done this, and this. We massively fucked it up. But Boris Johnson's a big useless twat, and he should never be Prime Minister again. Soz. Because the next Prime Minister knows how powerful and clever and manipulative behind the scenes Dominic Cummings could be. And you could see yesterday, he's basically he was going, Boris Johnson shouldn't be Prime Minister. I hate him. He's useless. The fact that it was him against Corbyn is insane. The fact he gave me the job he gave me is insane.
Yeah, that part was even weird.
He was like, I shouldn't have had my job. He shouldn't have his job. No one should have these jobs.
I don't know what I'm doing, you know. I'm rubbish. What is going on?
He said,
you can't even do it in a football conference. Could you imagine if Ollie's Gunnar Solskjaer was like, I'm rubbish. I don't deserve this. Did Daniel De Gea? Of course he fucked up. I trained him. I don't know what I'm doing. This place has gone to pot since Alex left.
Self-deprecating Edinburgh comedian. I'm bloody rubbish at the sex.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
that's exactly what it's
he's
like.
really non-threatening.
Yeah. I'll give him some pussy.
And he said,
and then he goes, give it to me. And give it to me. And then they go, I took the pussy, but I've got mental health problems. I'm alcoholic.
Oh, he's layered. He's layered.
Yeah. Like,
he said Matt Hancock should have been fired 20 times for 15 to 20 different things. He kept slating Hancock because he knows Hancock's fucking gone. But then he was really, 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 really nice about Rishi Sunak. About 30 times he kept going, good old Rishi, you know. He put that whole furlough thing together in like 25 minutes. Because he knows he's going to be the next one to run. So he's like, I'm going to get my job back.
No, they need to be put in the room like, you know that scene in The Dark Knight where the Joker goes, I've already got a room in my cabinet for one of you guys. And they just put like a pool cue and be like, all right, now you guys fight over who gets to do it.
Priti Patel.
Yeah, of course it's going to be Priti Patel.
Would fucking win. She would literally take the pool cue, throw it over there and win anyway. She a scary lady.
Or she'd be
like, I've already got one.
Yeah, exactly. And just spit on it and be like, this is mine. I use this on myself. And everyone's like, oh my God.
Where did you use it, Pretty? Pussy. Vagina.
That was my original name, Pussy Patel.
We're fucked. Go ahead.
We are fucked. Or we are on the cusp of a revolution.
Mate, honestly, I think you're starting one. There was points there when you were talking, I was getting revved up. One thing I definitely know is I hope your kids are fucking bright, because if you really believe in the system, like, if they're showing any, like, you getting B's, mate, you're done.
No, I don't know if I want my kids to go to school as they exist now. Especially, like I said, we're living in a time where even if your kids work, like, to be fair, and this is a thing, like, you know, I feel like, not to be too, like, much of a bleeding heart, but we owe kids a fucking apology, man. For nothing else, just the semantics of, you know, just the normal maximum of being like, work hard and go to school. If I was a kid now, I'd be like, why the fuck? Why? So you can get a good job. Why? I don't know if you've noticed, the president and the prime minister are two of the biggest shits people have ever seen, ever. But you should still work hard. Why? You can cheat. You can see you can cheat and get away with it. Like, or like, with a religion, like, so far as the basis for it, I suppose, so far as the ethical basis for it, doing good unto others and stuff like that, we've not shown kids there's any fucking point in doing that for an entire generation. And then people are like, what's wrong with this generation of kids? They've watched the villain win for like how many years? So while we've been doing Marvel Cinematic Universe and being like, heroes, villains and supervillains are the ones winning. Like, you can very easily see that Priti Patel would scratch a child in a classroom. You can easily see she would do that. And it's like, she's been caught bullying and they were like, yeah, no, not really though, don't worry about it. And so now we basically have a world where, you know, after years of, it's even like when we say, you know, nice guys finish last. Well, if you're a feminist, are you fucking surprised you have a malevolent patriarchy? Women have been saying nice guys finish last and repeating that maxim amongst women for years. So that's why they're not nice guys are in control. So when
it's your fault.
Well, I mean, it's not a fault, but I'm just saying responsibility.
Right.
It's the same as responsibility wise.
The whole villainous and being rewarded for bad behavior and being rewarded for being as shit of a person as it's possible to be gets you to a position of power. So that's where horrible structures of society come from. When
He's
we
a bastard.
When we reward the worst people with more money and more power and have a plane and fuck that kid and we'll just pretend you're not doing it. Like,
yeah, because billionaires don't become billionaires by being
the nice guy is doing the extra shift at McDonald's because his colleague wants the day off.
No, we have many examples. Look, remember Jeremy Corbyn was like free internet for everybody. Everyone was like, he's mental. Why would we need free internet for everybody? What use would that be? Well, look where we are now. Like, it's just insane when people are like, this guy, socialism is terrible. Privatizing the NHS. How did we get here? How can you have a privatized healthcare system and then be like, help our heroes?
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do with my fucking tax, to pay for healthcare when they come back with limbs missing from combat zones. They can get the help they need. That's why we have a healthcare service. That's how we help them. Because a plastic flower ain't doing fucking much, really.
No one's arguing with that.
So it's just like, for kids, people are like, these children are lost. They are lost. They're not lost. They've been actively observing you lot rewarding pieces of shit for like the last 20 years. So like, it's like, I say this all the time. If you are a white working class woman who works hard and gets good grades to go to university, what reward is there for you? And then we turn around and people say stuff like, what's happening to these kids? They go on Love Island and more people apply to Love Island than Oxford and Cambridge. Yes, I understand exactly why. Because even if they did get qualified, but depending on their socio-economic background, when they graduate, they're going to be like, what fucking job they doing?
I'm really worried as a parent.
On Love Island, you can be like, hey, here's me tits. And you get 20 grand for the post.
But it looks easy. I'm genuinely worried as a comic and a YouTuber how I'm going to make my children do homework and revision for exams. Yeah. You really need to work hard and get these qualifications. Why? What do you do, Dad? I talk absolute shit with a Scouse mate of mine and some guests, and that's working out really well. I think that's not gonna be great long term. Like, you need to concentrate.
That makes no sense. Brings home like a Scouser in year 5, and she's like, Dad, I've got one.
I will.
Is this your boyfriend? No, it's me business partner.
I will set up the fucking equipment. Come on.
I think a lot of kids that are doing YouTube and stuff like that are already ahead of the curve, that they realize that, you know, any job where it's going to be working, I suppose, in an office or even a factory or any kind of, it does probably won't exist by the time they graduate. So they're already making a move towards being like influencers and all this other stuff. It makes sense. And I don't think no one has any answers for them. And like I said, it's living in a time now where I suppose, even what use is homework really? What does it really prove? It's always
been bullshit homework.
Yeah,
I don't. Use is revision.
Yeah, I think it's even proven that it doesn't actually increase kids' intelligence or anything like that. So kind of, it's like they want to control you when you're not even at school.
Do you reckon there's going to be come a point where there's going to be so like everyone's an influencer, so they're just going to be buying off each other? Buy my top. I'll buy your top if you buy my top. I'll buy your shoes. I'll buy that hat if you buy my arsehole.
I think most influencers are going to
everyone's grafted.
Most influencers will end up being homeless, I think, man, after a few years.
But influencing at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Two homeless guys like, I love your top. How many likes did you get for that, Jeff?
To be fair, homeless people were saying, hey guys, way before influencers were. They were saying that way before influencers were. Please like. No, get away from me. Get a real job. The influence thing is the whole idea, I suppose, was that they wanted us to worship human clothes horses and human billboards. Because I was like, what is the whole point of influencing? And then they moved the like button on Instagram up and then replaced it with the shopping bag button. So essentially, everyone's bodies, minds, and their hands are used to doing the same kind of process on social media, and now they built this whole serotonin addiction that comes from getting likes. So now that everyone's addicted, it's kind of like, well, I still want to be liked. Well, now buy stuff. And that's how you get liked. So now, Instagram is all like shopping bags, and you can buy stuff online, and you can now, things are tagged in terms of where it's from and stuff like that. I think that was the plan all along, to be able to sell.
There's something to that, because I've not been big into Instagram until maybe a year ago. And because of the pod, we've got loads of followers. Everything I put on there, everyone's like, love, 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 love. And I do shop on Instagram a bit more. Yeah. Every time I go on Facebook, everyone's like, it's all right. And like, if you put something on Twitter, it does fine. But Instagram is so much more positive.
Most positive platform. But Twitter's the most negative.
I do actually shop off Instagram the most. God, I've been affected.
It's a new TV, that's why. Because that's why it's called Instagram.
Yeah.
Because the suffix gram is for programming. If it was about pictures, it'd be called Instagraph. And that's what the app was supposed to be for, is for like photographers and stuff to share like their pictures, and like that's where filters come from, because most people didn't really understand the use of filters before that. Then once commercial hands got a hold of it, and you can, it's like TV. The idea of TV is that people watch TV, and the idea is like all advertising TV is like, this could be you. But with TV, it says stuff like, the model in this picture, or don't try this at home, and it gives you all of like the small print. Whereas the internet, they don't have to necessarily do that. So they can sell you this unattainable idea of aspiration, where it's like, you can have your trainers and you can live like this, and you can have this snapshot of your life, and people get so used to it, then it's like, I can just continue to live this life where I just take snapshots of my success. But then now it's like, how you continue to do that? Well, you're going to have to fork out. And so that was the whole plan the whole time. Whereas Twitter, I said, Twitter is just, if social media is a stream of consciousness, then Twitter's the sewer, basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Us following you on Twitter has made our Twitter feed so much more politicized, because you tweet in a way that a lot of comedians don't tweet. Yeah. Like a lot of comedians like, it's a funny clip, and I follow this team. But when you read... but no, I wasn't even thinking about... But when Dane tweets, I'm like, oh, God, I should do more.
Well,
not at all.
Enjoy is the wrong word, but what I love about the way you handle yourself online is your absolute intolerance for virtue signaling.
Yeah.
Comedians in particular. When comics are like, fat shaming is awful, and then they remain silent on like Black Lives Matter or something like that, you're like, no. If you're going to stand up for injustice, someone saying fat people aren't attractive is so much further down the priority queue.
Yeah, of course.
Than the institutional genocide.
You were calling people out at the Black Lives Matter. Like, when it came to the inaction, you were the most vocal comic I saw. Yeah. But just going, I ain't being a cunt, but hi, you've got Twitter followers. What are you doing? Anything?
Absolutely.
You're just watching. You're just taking...
Because, there's a lot of people that co-opt other aspects of black culture, particularly in this country where, it's very seldom that you really see... There's not many black comics, I would say, over the age of 40 that you see, like, in the same... And not to say that the guys I'm mentioning are not good comics, but, like, you're not going to have a black equivalent of, like, your panel for Mock the Week. That's always working. You just don't really see it. Like, for a very long time in this country, you just don't really see older black comedians talking about this old guy shit. Like, the large contingent of successful black comedians more recently have been very young.
Because the TV producer's like, we need a black guy. And they're like, oh, you can't have an old black guy, because they're like, what are you going to do with that? Yeah. He's not old, he's black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so... I've never thought about it. From my white perspective, I've never thought about that. You wouldn't
know any different, but you've had it for such... Like, it's been a good, 20 years where there's been this conflation of black culture and youth culture. So it seems to be more accepted, but the arenas in which it's accepted is more things that are quite superficial, where it's like that kind of hip-hop influence on clothing and maybe within football and in music. But these are all, like, quite young occupations, whereas when you're dealing about things that actually matter about your life, like, your politics or economics, these affect adults. When you don't have someone that can speak about that, it means for most white people that live in Runcorn, they never hear what a grown black person thinks about anything. So if you're just watching TV as a normal white person, and this is how the divide is kind of driven, is that, like, for a black or brown person living in a metropolitan city, it's suggested to you through media that if you go further than the Midlands or you go outside of Manchester, everyone's racist, everyone voted for Brexit, white people hate you and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, as a traveling comedian, I know that's not the case. The thing is that, like, if you're a white person watching TV, you may be from an area, you don't really see black people that often, unless they might play for your local football team or you're the football team you support, or in music, which again is still a very juvenile kind of like...
It's pigeonholed, isn't it?
It's very much pigeonholed, and also there's very much you can cover with music. Like, music, irrespective of race now, doesn't really cover a lot of stuff nowadays with music. So if every time you see a black person on TV, they're just like, well, I'm here to talk about racism and I'm angry at everyone. Any normal person would be like, well, I don't even know this person. Why are they angry at me? You're gonna be a lot more inclined to not pay attention to it. Whereas with comedy, if I can tell you about my life and what I do every single day and what's fucked up about my life, it's more likely you can see a mutuality between that. Because everybody grew up watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and nobody was like, well, I don't know because they're African Americans from another country and I can't relate to it. It's a dude that's a fish out of water with his family. Everyone can relate to it. So there's just that small bit of mutuality makes it easy. So it means you see more in common with yourself and other people. Or like when the film like East is East came out, again, it's like you see mutuality between other people, even though people might recite all the other stuff. Or like even like Four Lions. Like everyone loves that film because it's like, there's just some bumbling guys that are friends. You don't even take the time to think about that, contextualize that through the eyes of them being Muslims. It's just funny guys doing stupid shit. So this country has deprived this entire country of that narrative from black people. And the reason why is because if you don't have that discourse at a very binary level of white and black, everyone in between that don't get to talk either. So they've prevented that for so long, whereas like now people are more adverse to even broach the conversation. So much so that liberals, if you're a white person and you say the word black on stage, they're like, I'm not sure if you can say that.
Oh, absolutely.
So they stifle the conversation that much. We're unable to talk because they've robbed you of the nomenclature you need to have conversations with other people. And that's the issue. So with me, it's like, I just say to a lot of other comedians is, first of all, we're supposed to be doing observations. So if you're supposed to be making your money, unfortunately, by seeing what happens in our country, how have you missed all of this?
Yeah.
It's quite...
Not even from a racial perspective, but it's like, I don't have a direct experience of sexism as a cisgender heterosexual man, but there's enough anecdotes, enough stories, enough issues whereby I can't deny it exists. And as a comedian, because I'm supposed to see what other people don't see or see it with a lot more acumen, I should be able to talk about sexism, at least that I can see it. Yeah. But it's like, you've got comedians who talk about Beyonce and hip hop, but you've missed all this other stuff about racism and race in this country. How have you been able to do both?
It's quite interesting, really, because we've touched on this one of a million times in conversations about how stand-up should be done and how we want to do it and stuff like that. I a couple of years ago just made a decision to start doing the comedy that I would rather watch rather than what I thought the audience wanted to see from me. Yeah. And I love talking about race on stage and sexism and every like if I can find a funny in anything. And it's quite funny if I mention black or Muslim or sexual assault on stage, anything that can be seen as, oh, you're a white man and you haven't lived that experience, the people who go are other white often middle class people going, oh, you're not that, so you can't do that. And then like I put sort of coming full circle for the section, the Black James Bond bit that I used to do, when I put that on the internet, the amount of black comics who messaged me and were like, mate, this is fucking unbelievable. And the only complaint it's ever got are from, well, there's a few from white men who are like, there shouldn't be a Black James Bond and you clearly haven't read the books and fuck you. And it's like, yeah, shut up. And then other middle class white people going, I don't really think he's in a position to be talking about race. And it's like, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up. Yeah. Because no one has the right to talk about a phenomenon about race. Your interpretation of it, how else are we going to have the conversation then? And the thing is, it shows the fact that you are even giving it thought is what puts you above all these other white comics who don't want to make the observations, because it's like, you're very happy to stay in your bubble then because you're not making observations. That's why everybody, irrespective of race, gravitates towards your Bill Burrs and people like that, because they talk about it, and it's like going back to what I said.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing, and it's going back to what I said before. Well, these are the things that outside of comedy or art are the things that are dividing people the most. So how can you go on stage and talk about what's happening in the world and be like, oh, I'll just talk about the banal stuff that happens in the world and when I go to a retail park and what I leave in my utility drawer, and then come off stage and life is happening, like we're more divided than we've ever been. How would you be able to avoid it? It's like, you should be seeing...
It's frightening when liberals are the ones that are throwing those barbs of like, wow, you can't talk about that. You're like, that's so counterproductive to say a white guy can't talk about these things because it's not their place to talk about them. It basically just ring fences those conversations that are important.
That's exactly what they want.
This is a black man's conversation.
Yeah.
Dane.
But by that same token, so then what does it do if I'm as a black person talking to other black people about this? It's like guys that go on stage and say, I'm a feminist. Well, why do women need you to tell them that they're equal human beings? It's what the conversation we were saying. It's like, there's no point in me telling oh, you women are all right. It's about when I'm around just men and there's no women there and the conversation does move to become misogynistic, then you say something. So in the same way, do you know what I mean? There's no point in me saying it to other women. Like, you lot are all right. Well, I don't think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It would be quite something,
you know,
if you walked into a load of lads and like, lads, I know it. Stag do. Can't wait for the stag do. Just want to let you know that I am a feminist before we get going.
Yeah.
All right. Nice one. Because it doesn't happen, does it?
It doesn't happen.
They only do it when there's women to be like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It needs to be less performative. You got to like say to your friend, like, you know, just say thank you to that stripper on a stag do. You know? Say please and thank you.
Love, come here.
Me personally,
come off the pole. I'm a feminist.
Yeah, exactly.
This is for you.
Exactly. No one's doing that. But you should. But by the same token, but for me, that's why the conversation should be had. And like with Adam, I do push those things as well because for me, feminism as a facet of humanism is about you having a choice and your gender not predisposing you not having certain choices. So for me, I will openly talk about going to strip clubs or porn and stuff like that because as long as the women involved in that discussion are consenting and have made that choice themselves, then that in itself is feminist. Because if I was to be like, well, talk about it another way, then I'm slut shaming or I'm doing it from a position of being a chauvinistic male. And I do it in a way, like Adam said, I kind of challenge people that supposedly hold feminist views and stuff like that as well. Because if I talk about my sexual prowess or like my proclivity with other women or being sex positive, I'm doing that under the pretense that as a woman is equally free to be as graphic, as crude, as overt or explicit when she's discussing her own sexuality. Like I'm the kind of comic, like if a woman is on stage talking about like menstruation or talking about the more like graphic aspects of it, I'm laughing my fucking ass off because I don't think about it like there's a woman talking about her womanly functions. It's a comedian that's saying some funny shit that's wild and the crowd's going, oh my God, but you're supposed to have that reaction anyway.
You need quite a mature crowd for some of that, don't you? Like, to not hear the trigger words, and to not be like, "Hey, you're not meant to know." Like that's why I know we slag off the fringe, but sometimes at the fringe, it gets held up as this like bastion of like Tories on holiday. But it is good to talk to a load of people who've watched a bit of stand up and have got a fucking brain, because you often get past that like, "Oh no," like you actually playing to some people who get it.
But also, I quite enjoy, and I've started actually talking about this on stage the past two sets I did last night. I quite enjoy an audience going, no. And then I go, no, actually, no, I'm right. Yeah. And in 2 minutes, you'll actually be like, oh, okay, I get
that amazing Bill Burr thing of like, everyone going, I disagree. And then by the end, you sort of agree. You're like, fuck, I do agree with that. Yeah. That's amazing stand-up.
That's the responsibility of an audience to do that as well, though, is to also appreciate the discourse of it, of like, Adam might say something I don't agree with, but the idea... This is not a exchange of agreements and affirmations. It's comedy. Yeah. So he might say something I'm like, I don't agree, but that shit was funny the way he said it. That's what it's supposed to come down to. And sometimes we forget. I think people forget that as well. Is that like it's?
I've had people say that to me before. I don't agree with what you said on stage. Neither do I.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't agree with.
But it was funny though.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Sometimes it's supposed to just be funny. Like I remember I did a bit. I was talking about. I remember I was talking about Reva Steenkamp and the whole Oscar Pistorius thing, right? And I was speaking about how they called it culpable homicide, and I was like, "That's not really a thing. It's murder in it. It's like, you know, it's not like rape isn't sex by negligence. Like,
no, that's a line.
And, tripped, fell, landed inside. Like that doesn't happen, right? And then, again, classic guy. You could imagine the type. He's like, "And what's the point of all this? Like, what are you trying to say with all this?" And I was like, "Well, just having the discussion about like, and you know, the endemic nature of misogyny and sexism." Why are you saying that? Like, I'm like, well, how do you want me to say it? And also, I'm paid to make jokes here. So some of it has to be patterned with jokes and the occasional mention of pussy in the set for people to enjoy it. So what is it you want? If you've come here for a TED Talk, I'm not that person. And the thing is, to be quite honest with you, that is a contingent of comedy that needs to get the fuck out. Is that these TED Talk comedians, these comedians that want you to cry more on stage than you laugh on stage. Like, do you remember there was about 4 years ago, before Sticks and Stones came out?
Yeah.
Just after Patrice died, when this contingent of comedians started coming in, and it was like people were leaving shows being like, it was so powerful, I was crying the whole time. Then it's not a fucking comedy show then.
Oh my God. Edinburgh, there was just such a wave of it.
They tried to ruin it again. That is typical of the bourgeoisie, right? They will just move the goalposts, where it's like, so now you don't have to make people laugh in a fucking Edinburgh show anymore. Like, what is this? What is this?
I remember being in Edinburgh and a friend of mine and a good comic got to the sad bit and then played music underneath. I was like, as a comic, and it worked. People were like, "Oh, that is sad," but I was like, "Oh, come on!" If you want to get those emotions out of people, if you want to elicit that feeling from someone,
Fuck off,
do it
Dan.
with your work.
Don't be nice to them. Fuck them.
But
if you got fucking £1,200 or you got 15 grand, go to a fucking therapist. Why are you wasting time going to Edinburgh for to cry every day, the same fucking day, at the same point, to play music every day, and then make somebody, a tech, have to rehearse that? I'm going to start crying here, so make sure you're in. And you got to think about that part as well, when the guy's like, where were you? You was about 2 minutes late. A tear left my face every day. Text
this year's love it, but
well, his name is Gray as well.
I hope he's watching.
That is the song
mate,
that like white divorced men gas themselves to in their garages. This is love. The first time I heard that song, I was so hungover, and I was like, perfect. Something inside of me has died. So perfect.
It's an Edinburgh show.
We
sad,
need a break.
Yeah,
We're an hour and 5 into a 30-minute section.
Nice.
that went long.
That was such a good section. I really enjoyed that.
Money cunts.
Hey, listen to this. This podcast, Have a Word, yeah, is sponsored by beer52.com, and we have been for about a year now. They are our OG sponsor, and I've got to tell you about them. If you don't know who they are the #1 craft beer discovery club in the UK. What's a craft beer discovery club, Adam? Well, I'll fucking tell you, mate, okay? What they do is they help you discover craft beer. They send you different craft beers every month from all over the world, different themes every month as well. You might get a month worth of South African beers. You might get some from Argentina the next month. You might get some from South Korea or something. All over the world, they'll help you discover the best craft beers that you've never heard of. And here's the best thing. Because you're a listener to this podcast, not only do you get a free case of 8 beers and an award-winning beer magazine, for free, just by going to beer52.com/word. All you do, pay the postage and packaging, 8 free beers, free beer magazine, and a little tasty snack as well. And also, it helps us out. You support our sponsors, they support us. This thing can keep going. We can keep the Have a Word gravy train on the fucking track. So go to beer52.com/word right now and get yourself some bevies for nothing. Hello. Dane, you didn't want a beer. We're going to have a beer. Dan, cheers for the beers.
I'm not a beer person, but celebrate life, everybody. Could I trouble you for a Cafe Patron?
Patron XO, yes. Would you?
Absolutely.
Take this glass that was sent to me, which has got 3 different measures on it. You can choose which measure you like. Mm-hmm. There's the single measure.
Yeah.
The double measure, which is more than double the distance from the bottom.
yeah.
The single is.
Nice.
And a ROWE bags measure, which is my nickname.
Can we have one? Me and Finley want one.
You want one? I'll have one.
Finn!
Yeah, go on, Finn.
Bloody hell, you're a bloody lad. One night out in Liverpool last week and you're a changed bloody man.
Really went to Mojo as well.
Oh, so jealous last week when you were like going
I'll
out
take
Tuesday.
it first and then you can just take the bottle.
Fucking
Okay?
hell.
That makes sense.
What is it, a lock-in? Bloody hell.
Daniel?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, that is much more than a double.
That is a large shot.
It's a good.
How much has Stephen
basically
Try spent on that? How much is a bottle of Cafe
That's
Patron?
about 50 quid.
Yeah, they're good. They're expensive. Thank you for that. And
Someone's done the YouTube tax form.
it's like Adam's gone for an espresso. Espresso martini.
It's a big one.
Yeah. All right.
Cheers, boys.
Have you filled them?
No, because I'm going to the gym and then driving home.
Good, burn it off. It's all good. Cheers.
Salute. Here's to the production team
pleasure.
who've been doing a very good job recently,
Absolutely.
boys. And
Pleasure.
it's worth saying on pod.
Thank you.
The thing is, you don't have
Been
to shot it,
smashing it.
or you can sip it. It's sipping tequila. So
It's so good.
I said it forgetting what part of the country I was in. You don't have to have it all at once. You can take your time with your drinks. And, no, we can pace ourselves. And you guys are like, what's so
It's gone.
Now,
Yeah,
more!
Dane, that's not going to get you booked for a lock-in, mate. Come on. I've got some questions.
Ooh.
Pango Linguini says,
Who?
barring the whatever username, I literally, if you sign up to Patreon, patreon.com/haveawordpod, it's like a main line straight to the inbox. We get hundreds of emails every week. We get less on the Patreon. So Pango Linguini has signed up to Patreon, patreon.com/haveawordpod, as Pango Linguini. If you sign up
Am I
as
the only
Dan's
person-
Mum's Flaps, I will read Dan's Mum's Flaps has got a question.
I mean, you know that someone
Oh, yeah.
has just paused the podcast to do it. Okay.
Cool, if we get a new Patreon.
Is Pango whatever? Is anyone else thinking Paolo Nutini?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Where is he? I've not seen him.
Or
for a while.
maybe it's Paolo Antini. So he's misspelled his name on Patreon. Paolo Antini says he's got some new shoes. So he's dead pleased about it.
Ja Rule.
Thank you. Pango Linguini. I should leave.
Should we explain this to every guest, or should we just not?
No. Pango Linguini.
The Ja Rule reference? You'll never know.
But if it's been said after you've just done a joke, it's not a good joke. Pango, I don't even give a fuck what he's called, says, barring New York and LA, what are the top 5 places in the USA that you'd like to gig? What are your
Austin
top
now, innit?
5? Austin, Texas.
Austin's probably number 1 for me now.
Is Joe on? Is Joe Rogan coming down to that? Every comic in the world goes, I'm going to Austin to do an open spot. Is Joe Rogan here? No, he's not. Oh, fuck.
No, but like Austin's becoming a proper scene, isn't it?
Yeah. So Austin. I mean,
Chicago.
maybe, but
second city.
there's part of me would like to play. Do you know what I mean? By Bumfuck Alabama.
The banjo.
Part of me that would like
You
to play
tried that for a couple of weeks, didn't you, Dan?
Absolutely smashed it. One comedian, so now everyone knows. I would like to play some redneck Louisiana backwater. Oh yeah, we do comedy here every once in a while. Well, people can get here. It don't always go how they want. I'd like the challenge to see if I could make it work. You know, like I remember Jason Manford doing the Embassy Club in Manchester when he was on the way up, and that was still like Bernard Manning was still alive. Yeah. The Embassy Club is Bernard Manning's club, and he was retired from it. It was just a rough working class venue, but it still had that mainstream route. And Jason Manford was like, I want to see if I can play it without doing their game, doing our game, which is, you know, in theory,
Respect another human being.
yeah, respecting, like not being sexist, racist, and still be funny and see if you can get away with it. There'd be an element of like, I'd love to play a backwater down south.
Name one.
I mean, like, where's the most backward state? Like Mississippi's got some fucking
There we go.
Alabama.
We're never
Alabama.
playing Mississippi.
Alabama.
They'll be like, welcome, Dan. I don't know if they'll go for your intellectual comedy on account of you wearing spectacles.
Yeah. Oh, we got ourselves an immigrant. I'm British. I'm white. Oh, you an immigrant boy? You a long way
ahead,
from
Red Coat.
Hong Kong.
Go ahead, Red Coat. See what you got.
But I always think that with like the downside, like as a northerner, that we're basically the north is like to
Supposedly
the
the
UK.
American South, yeah.
what the south is to the UK. So maybe it'd work if I just went on and shouted garlic bread. Oh, that's good. I remember things as well.
Cheese and cake.
Cheese.
Ooh, what accent was that?
That was Newcastle, Alabama. Cheese and cake.
Pound. I'm watching some pound.
Wait, bud.
Have you performed in America?
I have a few times, yeah. I've done mainly New York, yeah, and gig in LA. And I did Just for Laughs about 4 years ago.
I'd loved Montreal.
Yeah, but I was doing it as part of Kevin Hart's LOL Network comedy showcase. But it was just good to be there, man. And yeah, you definitely love it out there. Like, and they make it a real point of principle to point out that the Fringe might be the largest arts festival. This is the largest comedy festival.
Yeah.
So they say, yeah, that's fine. The Fringe, whatever, Edinburgh. This is the largest comedy festival, and it's not as long. I think it's like a week instead of a month.
Yeah,
but it's
which
quite
is what Edinburgh should be.
Which is what Edinburgh should be. Yeah,
Already getting it right.
exactly. And it's just pretty intense, man. But yeah, I had a great time out there. Got to meet Sherrod Small and Tony Rock. I mean, there was loads of guys out there. Who else? His name escapes me, but they had we went to like a Netflix party, and that shit was crazy as well.
Tough crowds, or I mean, the Montreal Comedy Festival has been going a long time. They know their shit. They get to see superstars and the big names on the way up. Are they really friendly, or are they hardened by the fact that they've seen such quality? What was it like as a crowd?
I think they're
Fair.
They're fair in the right way.
Yeah.
I think they're fair in the right way because some of the shows I did were all international comics. So it was like, I think I was out there with Fumbi, Tez was out there, Bobby Mayer was out there. Then they had the dude who used to open for Seinfeld with the glasses.
Ryan Hamilton? No.
It might be him actually. But
Alexander Hamilton?
not Alexander Hamilton.
Have you seen Hamilton?
I have seen Hamilton.
Do you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too.
All right, let's wrap this up, boys. Fucking hell. I still think...
I supported your banjo dream. But yeah, it's really good. You really enjoy it, and fucking hell, what a nice place to be as well as a city, Montreal.
I
really
had a
cool.
conversation with my agent recently, and he was like, "So, because I've got a new guy now," and he was like, "So, what do you want to do?" And I went, "Stand up. That's all you need to concentrate on. I don't want to be on any of the panel shows. Like, if they want me, great, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't.
absolutely.
Like, I want to do the Apollo because it's stand up. There's a new stand up show. I want to do it. I said I want to do Just for Last Montreal, and I want to do stand up everywhere I can. That's the priority. Everything else is by the by.
We've made our own panel show.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The fuck would you want to
Exactly.
be on a panel show where you've got like the producers telling you what you can and can't say? We're sat here doing a fucking panel show.
And then you get like a whole press pack where you've got to do prep to make sure that your stuff is topical and on point. And there's somebody else from a reality show that's going to be on the same panel as you, and they got to be something like, my fanny itches sometimes. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
and you're trying to squeeze a part out, and they're like, I'm not sure if you can see
You're
that.
not allowed to say Pretty Patel's killed 3 nanas this week. Guys,
we fact checked that, and it's not true.
Yeah.
I think we should actually, at some point, I know, like, I keep coming up with new branches for the Have a Word. So I want us to do Have a Word Law, Have a Word Research, Have a Word Cancer Treatment. I want us to do everything.
It's taken us 3 months to decorate a room next door. Adam's like, we'll start a TV company. That's how we'll go.
But I do want us to do. I want us to do a panel show. I think we could absolutely nail it.
I believe so too.
Who's hosting it though? Aren't you two captains?
No,
We'd be captains. You
I'm
should
out.
host it.
I'm out. This is the panel show I want to do. I don't want to do a panel show. I think.
Okay, well then I'll host it.
I don't enjoy
and Finn will
watching them. I
host it.
think it's really stifled, fake banter. Like, oh, we brought up it. Like it's me. Like me.
Yeah, but you're judging it based on TV standards. We
Right.
don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
right.
We could give it a go.
We can say naughty things.
Yeah.
That we actually think and people actually agree
Believe with. Yeah.
with. Yeah.
Yes. Naughty.
Oh my.
Do you know on what you're saying as well, Adam, in terms of like wanting to stand up? I feel like it's very similar with myself, and I'm not sure if you agree. So you know, you get comics like Australian comics. They might not be here throughout most of the year, but they come to do the Fringe, and they do their numbers at the Fringe, and they do their numbers at like this festival and that festival. Do you think that's something that British comics are able to do internationally? I find like people come to this country to kind of have somewhat of a career just doing live stand up.
Yeah.
You know? But whereas, and we do go over to like Melbourne and stuff like that, but it's like
the Kitson sort of David O'Doherty level, where
Yeah.
they're basically
they do
festival
festivals.
comics. Almost.
Yeah, because I could do that, and I'd be happy doing that. And rather have a concentrated contingent of comedy fans and audience members at a festival, as opposed to this. I think spending another 5-10 years just trying to navigate the States, for example.
I wouldn't ever want to go, right, I'm doing okay in the UK, let's go and live in the States for 5 years and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But what I would like to do is use the internet to amass sort of like slossers.
Yes.
And go, I might be able to do 2,000 to 4,000 tickets in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And maybe 1,000 tickets in all of the major cities in the UK.
Yeah.
But I can do 100 in New York.
Yeah.
I'd wait for that.
Yeah, me too.
I'd wait to do 100, 110, 200 maybe you'd be pushing it in New York.
Smash Conan
Austin.
a few times.
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
dip in and then like go over for like, I don't know, maybe say I've got a date in New York and Philly and Boston and Austin and LA and that's it.
Yeah.
I'd go over for 2 weeks before it and I would do
Just do the regular clubs.
the
just
clubs
shots here and there,
and get America fit and
Yes.
then do those hours where I've...
Yeah.
And I'll be in bumfuck Alabama working for the equivalent of 80 quid.
But like,
It all feels very familiar.
that's a sort of not just a career I'd be happy with, but that's sort of like a dream is to be able to go to America and turn up and go 5 tour dates, see you later.
Yeah, exactly.
But also do a week in the clubs in New York and maybe a week in LA and
I think
just be there and,
exactly.
and meet other comics. Like, and American comics, when you meet the top level guys, as you know, they tend to be quite sad. And if you're good,
Yeah, of course.
There's like over here, at times, there's a sort of derision from the experienced comics to new good comics because they see you as a threat.
Yeah.
They don't over there.
Yeah.
They're just like, this guy's a fucking murderer. Get him on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel more.
And it's a weird thing, especially because the UK comics, they probably have superior, so far as this part of this Eastern Hemisphere even, like you can go to continental Europe and still get work out there. You can go to Australia, New Zealand, and still have a career without even having touched in the Americas. And it's kind of like, why are they so upset about it? Because most comics don't even know, like even most comics I kind of started with probably don't know you can make a decent, like there are some comics that they go to Australia from like February to May. They're making about 6 figures before they even come back.
Yeah.
And that's their...
Like Carl Donnelly's, that's where he is right now. I'm not saying he's making 6 figures, but Carl Donnelly was on the gala in Melbourne, wasn't he? And like, I mean, he's an exceptional comic that I think should be further on. But
absolutely,
yeah, he's got his life set up because he's with an Australian lady, and they've had a kid. But you also need a life that can be mobile. Yeah, because not all of us like I've been to New Zealand a few times. If I said to Laura, where we should go is Australia from February to like whatever May, and then do New Zealand. It's just not everyone's life, is it?
Yeah. No, but also I feel like maybe it is different. I don't know what your relationship is like the intricacies of it, but I always, when I start dating someone, like with my ex-girlfriend, I made it very clear at the start, and I've done the same with Sam, and I'd hope to be with Sam forever.
You hear that, Sam? You hear that? Confessing that love in front of all of these cisgender heterosexual men. That takes some real fucking balls, Adam.
Yeah. But if he's going away for a year...
Yeah, but I would have no problem going, look, I'm going to America for 6 to 8 weeks, and if you want to come, great. If you can't, great. But I am going 6 to 8 weeks, because that is something I've been working towards since 2010.
Yeah, that's not quite the same as the Australian festival tour, though. I totally agree. If I said 6 to 8 weeks to Laura, I'd be like, this could be a huge game changer in terms of my career. Yeah. But those festival comics, by doing Edinburgh and then maybe doing a small tour, Soho Theatre, and then after Christmas, they are looking to the Antipodean festivals. Yeah. It's a whole different way of life. Like that is a single man's game, basically, to be like off to Adelaide, and it's basically 5 months out of the country. Yeah. There's not many relationships where they'd be like sound.
That's just not what I want anyway. I think a lot of it comes down to go back to your original question, is what you want from comedy and your career and your life. And if I'm totally honest, I want to be great at stand-up comedy.
And the thing is, you learn that greatness and goodness are not the same thing.
No.
Because as I'm also working towards greatness, I find myself the ability to be good to like people you're close to. Like you said, being around for a partner or friends, understanding what you're doing or where you're going can be very difficult. And then people turn like, you've changed. And you're like, yeah, because my old self was rubbish and working at desks. So that's why I had to. Otherwise, at this age now, I'd be having a nervous breakdown, or I would have killed one of my colleagues. So
there's a balance then to not
hand in hand as well.
Yeah. There is a balance though to not immerse yourself to the point where you can't function outside of it.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this today. We've talked about it a lot. Like once you get a taste of success and you've got a lot of promoters that want you, you can fill your life with gigging. And I've watched great comics after a while attain success, and then every story they've got is like, oh, I was at this gig. You're like, oh, you've forgotten to live your fucking life here, mate.
I've been close. I've been close, and you sleep. And the thing is, you sleepwalk into it. You don't even notice because it's the way The Rock Johnson is like. You can eat a gourmet meal, but you still remember what hunger feels like.
Yeah.
So it's even like you come off the stage at the Apollo, you'll still be like, what's next? Yeah. But it's that I think the last year, particularly for me, I'll tell you actually, it was Kobe Bryant dying that did it for me. I was like, you got everything I could possibly, so far as material, like, wealth and the respect of your peers and greatness. Like, I can't think of a better example of epitomizing greatness than like Kobe Bryant, a wonderful family, just like that. And I was like, well, that's how easy it can go. So, it's like the one thing he wants to have now, he can't. So it's kind of like, as in your...
Enjoy it.
Yeah, you have to enjoy it, in your quest for greatness. So I was saying the whole YOLAO thing now.
I've become very, very conscious in the past year, and, due to the fact that this podcast is doing well and it makes us money and it can largely pay the bills to a decent extent, like, it's given me a freedom to go, first of all, I can take a weekend off a month to spend time with my girlfriend and go, yeah, once a month I'm yours. On a weekend, we can do whatever you want and we'll sort it out or whatever. Or maybe I'll take 2 months off and the other weekend I'm doing something with mates and what. But it's not only to keep the people in my life happy and that, it's also because I started doing this shit when I was 18. Yeah. And I had a couple of jobs and I had a couple for the first couple of years while I did stand up. but I've got very little lived experience. I can't truly go on stage and talk about what it's like to work in the office and the humour around living and jobs and stuff, because this has been my life for a decade, 11 years in June. Like, I need to experience some shit so I can relate to normal people, because I haven't had a normal 20-year-old, 20-odd-year-old.
There's a lot of comics that can't do that, particularly in this country.
Yeah, and when that happens, you tend to... I said to you about a year ago, I need a story in my act.
Yeah.
Because my 20-minute club set was 20 minutes of opinions that I backed up with, here's why I think it. Yeah, and it was working really well, and I was, gigs flying in and whatever. But I was like, I want to tell someone what's happened. Yeah. I want to be able to go, this happened recently. So, and I didn't have that at all. And it was then...
Doesn't make you a better comic, does it? No, just gigging doesn't make you a better comic. You're not living your life to then report on it. Like you were talking about before, it's not just about seeing, like for me, I'm less of a topical sort of satirical comic. I'm like my life stories, funny shit that's happened or whatever. If I don't live my life, you run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just kind of one feeds into the other kind of thing. But again, that's really a part of the payoff of comedy. There's that relativity, which is why if you come from a small cabal of people from a particular socio-economic group, you're not going to be able to... we talk about British comics that do well in Australia and stuff like that. One of the reasons why their progress is stifled in somewhere like the Americas is comedy's power in this country is held by such a small group of people who come from such a specific socio-economic group and, same kind of educational system. When they relate their experiences, the rest of us are like... Which is why they do so much surreal comedy. That's why so much of their stuff is whimsical, because if they make normal observations like the rest of us will be like... Yeah. So that's why all their stuff is about being surreal as opposed to actually dealing with reality.
This is where the internet is such a fucking godsend.
Yeah, and it's a great leveler, and that's why you find so many comics in this country, they reach a plateau whereby... And that's why I spoke to Jimmy Carr about the whole thing about going to the States and stuff, because he used to do open for Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, the time it takes to, transverse the entirety of the States as a landmass and stuff, like, it would take you another 10 years, really, to be an established comic from making your name on the road. But that's also one of the reasons why American comics, when they do nail it for their specials, because it's been honed on the road for so long, that's why it's so fucking airtight. Whereas this country, we get to a point whereby, if we're honest, a large amount of the offering you get from TV stations in this country and the people that we see all the time, it's a very, very private joke. Where I'd go so far as to say that some of the more critically acclaimed comedy vehicles we've seen recently is like Fleabag. I like it, and I like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but I know most people didn't watch it because so many people have learned that the BBC doesn't really provide for their needs comedically, that they just don't really watch it. And that's not saying it's not good, but most people were just like,
I love Fleabag. But in terms of stand-up, we've been saying this for ages, the BBC is not what HBO and Netflix has been in America.
Nowhere near.
Who did we just watch?
Sitcoms, or sitcoms.
Johnny Pelham's Live at the Apollo. Yeah. And Johnny Pelham's fucking amazing. I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of turn, but it felt like a producer had gone, do that bit from your Edinburgh show.
Absolutely.
That's the bit that we want. And then that's really pushing their narrative, isn't it? That's not just going, you're great, do what you do. We really want to push this narrative.
That's exactly what they do a lot of the time as well. There's so much doctrine and authoring, and I think a lot of people don't realize that it's not... When you're having somebody begin to dilute or doctor your sense of your work, it's not like an openly aggressive confrontation. They're like, well, why don't we try this? And if you just make it look this way, it'd be a lot easier for us to get past, blah, blah. And you want to be like, you don't want to be like controversial, and you want to kind of like work alongside people, especially when you've had your first opportunities. And a lot of comedians kind of fall into this trap. Whereas I'm like, no, I think I'll do it my way. But and this is where, like, for people on the other side of the curtain don't understand what these accusations of people being divas and perfectionists come from, is because they want to hold on to that, because the punter is not watching that show being like, that producer fucked that up for Johnny.
No, yeah, exactly, 100%.
Yeah, there's like, Johnny's funnier than that. Do
you know who Jerry Cinnamon is? The singer-songwriter from Glasgow.
What's his name again?
Jerry Cinnamon.
He smashes it. So but he's not really like traditional route, is he?
Not at all. He got big off sort of online stuff on Facebook, and a couple of clips just going mad, and he's got a song called Campfire Vampire. And when I first listened to it, I was like, I really like this one. And then I seen him perform it live, and he said, this next song is for anyone starting up in the music industry. Don't feel the need to pull your pants down for anyone. You don't need anyone. And then he sung it. And then I listened to the lyrics properly. So the lyrics are, stay away from the campfire. Don't be playing for the vampires, because one bite and you never come home. And what he's saying is like, that looks all shiny and great over there, that campfire. Yeah, it's all warm and it's hot and stuff and it's great. But you're playing for the industry. And once you start doing that, you'll never get back to what you actually want to do.
I'll give you a perfect example. That would be Noel Clarke.
Who's that?
So
yeah.
So he's the guy who was, again, a part of what I call the drama school to like BAFTA's pipeline, where it's like all of these stories that are like palatable to like middle class liberals, and all of his films are like called Shank and Scare, and basically going through Urban Dictionary as using them as working titles for all of his films.
South London Drama School.
Yeah, basically, yeah, exactly that. And then he's like, even the word kiddo, I'm like, that used to be a teenager or an adolescent. Why are we even introducing this new way of men being able to be pedophiles? Because most pedophiles are the guys that pull up to like school gates in their 30s or in their late early 20s to pick up 15-year-old girls in like Vauxhall courses and stuff. And they were like, no, she's not. She's a kiddo. She's not a kid. She's a kiddo, kind of. Do you know what I mean? It was just all very dodgy that he was in his 30s playing like a teenage kid. And then people end up being surprised that he turns out to be this guy who's been bullying and like harassing people the whole time. And for me, it's like, I don't deny that. And I'm not any kind of victim blamer as well. But I'm like, I don't like this idea of singularity on these Me Too things. It's like, that guy, and all of us have been around guys who've had power within our industry. He don't walk by himself. Like when we see the guys that we hear stories about later on, they're not by themselves in the loft bar or anything like that. Like they got little entourages and shit around them. So when people are like, we've got to get rid of him. Well, if you need to get rid of this guy who uses power to take advantage of maybe mediocre
There's a lot more
women,
on that fucking list.
there's a lot more on that list. There's a lot more on that list.
Not in the entourage where when the accusation starts flying, the entourage gets a lot smaller.
Well, yeah, exactly. But yeah, the campfire thing, yeah, it does ring very true, man, because I've seen it particularly for a lot of black comics who are my predecessors, where they've been the darling of Edinburgh and been taken in with the whole thing and the whole BBC support for ideas. And literally they turned 40 and then it's like, of no use to us anymore. And then they're found in the wilderness, not being able to get any work because they are happy to give over their idea and ultimately over to, rather than holding on to their creative control. If you're not making it how you want, then once they finish making it how they want, then they're like, well, we're done with you now. We'll just find someone even more malleable than you are and even more younger and impressionable than you are as well. And like I said, when you're permanently turned now, you're not able to relate to your original audience that liked you in the first place.
That's why we've had conversations with people about this podcast where people are like, we could get you involved with A, B, and C. And we're like,
nah.
Well, you want to give us a boss?
This is it. That's. I feel like that whole centralized control of things is and the erosion of that is one of the best parts of like the internet in terms of creativity and
this
stuff.
Last year and a half has just the whole thing has been accelerated, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It really feels like it.
And it's
people forced to be at home going, wow, I can't go and do a meeting and I can't go and do a gig and I can't go and do a showcase. Well, I might as well get on Zoom or get on a podcast and like all of a sudden, like the quality's found. It's
back to creating where the inspiration for your creativity is only because you want to, because you haven't got parents that are putting your money for you to do it anymore. Like you saw the difference when lockdown first happened. The community were like, "Can you give me a bit of money to get a cup of coffee?" and blah blah blah. You could tell the people that are used to like having people supplement their career, but those of us that are used to like, if I don't go and gig, I don't make no money.
Yeah.
Here's
some stuff.
Yeah, here's some stuff. We had to be a lot more innovative and be like, we understand that there is an exchange of our goods or services for money. Whereas these guys are like, well, give me money just to be myself and, continue living how I live. It's like, what are you giving these people?
I can't afford anything. I'm living at my parents'.
Yeah.
But it's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's funny that I know exactly which one person you're talking about.
There's many of them like him, but I think it's all, even there's a certain level of quality control and curation even with the internet, which is surprising because, was it, I want to say Sarah Cooper, was that her name?
The American girl.
Yeah, the American girl that's doing the lip syncing.
Yeah.
And then they gave her a Netflix special.
Yeah.
And then they didn't really go anywhere. Nothing against her, but it's like, where was there going to be longevity in someone doing lip syncing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her lip syncing videos are great. It's one of those things where the content that, well, I haven't watched the whole special, but I've seen people talking about it where they're like, she's got some really, really great online videos that are dead funny. And Netflix have clearly gone, this is working. Give us something.
It was a sketch show pilot.
Yeah.
Because I really like her stuff on the internet.
She's great.
Yeah. But I've also, just through that, watched a bit of a stand-up. And, I mean, this is a dig. But it's probably reminiscent of the London scene where there's a lot of, and it's not the campfire, it's more like sort of the clique of new comics playing for new comics or alternative comics for playing alternative comics. I watched her at a few gigs in London. I was like, New York, and she was playing to backslapping alternative new comedians, and they're it wasn't great.
Yeah.
And that Netflix special looked like it should have been a 22-minute sketch show pilot that then got worked on, and it was an hour and something long. You're like, this isn't as good as your fucking TikToks.
Yeah.
Well, TikToks don't last that long, and so it's like kind of like with open mic, where we've all done gigs where someone's been able to kind of blag a 5 minutes based on them having a prop or being quirky enough to distinguish themselves from most of us comedians. But we all ask ourselves, could we listen to that for an hour?
No.
Can you close the frog?
It's also great when someone, and there's a few people who've sort of managed to nail this, but there's a few people who really fucking haven't, who've had a bit of success from doing the little, this is what my girlfriend's like, two phone camera, and then they go, going on tour, and then like 3 weeks into the tour, it's like, the tour has been delayed until I'm good at stand-up.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of you out there, for a few dollars, myself, Adam, or Dan can make your shit tighter too. So get in touch. We have no problem with ghostwriting. That whole YouTube reality comedy, like there's a whole new different revenue stream that I'm sure we could be making 100%. Money from.
Yeah, we are available.
Let's do a tutorial. I don't know why I spin a dick there. I was just having fun. Shall we do have a word? Because we've done. I mean, this has been a lot. Yeah. Let's do one thing that we're meant to do. I think one have a word. I'm coming towards the end of the beer. It's been an absolute pleasure. I feel like starting a revolution because I've talked to Dane for fucking 45 minutes.
We're all part of it, man. The new wave, new comics.
Help yourself to more Patron if you would like it.
Go on then.
Have a word. Lids, brother is a grass. Hi, Lids, can you have a word with my brother?
Oh, before we start, can I tell you, I learned yesterday where grass comes from. Do you know where it comes from, Carl?
No.
Do you know where it comes from, Finn? How about you, Dane?
Do you definitely not know, Carl?
No.
Do you know where it comes from?
No.
It's Cockney rhyming slang for grasshopper. Well, grasshopper is the rhyming slang for shopper, because you would shop your mate in.
To the cops.
And shortens to grass.
So what shop? What's the...
Shops like shop your mate and like give them to the police.
Yeah.
Right. Shop somebody in.
Yeah. So you're a shopper or a grasshopper or
a grass. All right, cool. Eyelids, can you have a word with my brother who's a right grasshopper?
The Henry Corner.
He's a right grasshopper. We've been working in home base together for the last couple of months, and last week this bellend saw a 16-year-old who's just doing work experience vaping in the staff room and decided to go and grass her up to the boss. He's leaving to join the police next month, so maybe he's trying to get some cunt practice in. That's such a wonderfully written sentence. He's leaving to join the police next month, so maybe he's trying to get some cunt practice in. But can you have a word with him and get him to change his ways? Cheers, Ben Robinson, up the toffs.
Yes.
Yes, Ben.
Yes. Yes, Ben. Up the toffs.
I mean,
so
it doesn't take much, this one, does it? What a fucking horrible bad gimp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet she wasn't fit. I bet 100% that she isn't smoking hot round the back of home base like toot toot
or
toot toot.
Or she's super fit and he never got to find out what that mouth do, so he decided.
Your head went then.
Yeah, he found out that mouth do.
Find out what that mouth do.
In my head, she looks great, man. She's smoking like, I don't know, dick with a QUE flavor vape. She's like,
just another home base hottie.
I really fucking love a turn of phrase that I haven't heard before, you know, like find out what that mouth do. Superb. Last week, do you know we had Paul and Laurie in? Well, Laurie was at a Hot Water Comedy Club with her dad, Ron, who was mentioned on the podcast.
Sounds like a geezer.
And he was talking about the time when he was in prison, and he's like, I was saying to my dad, you know, I've got to go to prison, and my dad's done a bit of porridge. And I'd never heard the phrase "done a bit of porridge" before. Oh.
Do you know the TV show Porridge?
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's very outdated, isn't it?
He wasn't in the TV show Porridge.
No, but like porridge for prison is a very old school thing. You don't hear it.
Done a bit of porridge is just so.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Such a good
so
thing to be
that's Cockney rhyming slang as well, right? Is it porridge?
Porridge.
Is it?
Yes, going to do some
research.
Porridge.
Research.
Who's doing? Are we all just looking at each other? I thought we had to guess. Porridge.
Found out what Scousers say kettle for watch. I found out what that is. Kettle and hob. Fob.
Kettle and hob. Fob.
Watch. That's why we say kettle.
What's webs?
I think it's kettle. Oh, I've burnt me cock for clock. That's what it is.
Jarrell.
Porridge is literally
Do you eat porridge? Because he eat porridge.
I tell you
In
what,
prison?
mate.
Okay.
Look at Finn. it wasn't funny, but it was factual. Oh, this is a great note. Like, yep, no banter here.
Yeah, your mate is an audible fucking grass and
Really
gimp.
Brother.
is. Really, brother, even
brother.
worse.
This is your brother.
Audible fucking grass and gimp.
And he's going to work for the Popo.
It's even worse.
Yeah.
Bad man. Tell your brother that police doesn't mean just, it means policy. So, you're enforcing policies. So just remember that, and all these other liberals that want to fucking, humanize the police, they used to punch people up just for being gay about 60 years ago. So how moral are they fucking really?
Less.
You're right? So
Fuck the police.
They really used to do that.
yeah, I mean, because homosexuality was illegal. So if two dudes were holding hands walking down the street in the 60s, the police would have fucked them up. The gay bashing. Like, if you speak to those older dudes, and like Peter Thatcher would have stories. The dude from Stonewall, right? The leader of Stonewall. He'll have the stories of more liberal and like pre-legislation. Like, if you were a gay dude in this country, like...
1967, but I reckon, how many, like... It doesn't, like, the law changes and everyone's like, we're sound with it.
Go,
The police aren't like, that's fine, is it? Like,
I've
another
heard
few years.
stories of stuff like where like trans women have been in prison with other men, or like non-binary or gay men, and like CEOs like parading them around the wing and stuff like that, as it like human trafficking and shit. So I mean, me personally, my thing with the police is like they are worse than everybody else in that. Look, if one of my friends, like if my friend is committing a crime, I might warn him about something. And if his crime is going to cause a harm and loss to another human being, I either have to reprimand that person or report that person. If you're a police officer, you're within the institution that's supposed to do that. So more than anybody else, you should be the most angry out of all civilians about when someone in your own ranks commits a crime, because they are taken away from your whole...
On you.
Yeah, from you and your whole institution of justice and stuff.
It's no good being
That's
like, he's a bad egg, isn't he?
Yeah, you should
I mean, and it's true. There are a lot of good... the loads of good police, but you have to hold, because you're in a position of trust and power.
Absolutely.
The weakest link in that
also,
chain
the idea
is
of your
dangerous.
motivations for joining law enforcement is that you enforce an idea of morality more than anybody else. But then, then when your prime minister is slapping up his baby mother, then like he's still free. So I don't know. Yeah. Like, that guy sounds like a terrible person. Like, also, vaping doesn't even hurt anybody. Like, why be a dick?
I think we're going to find out one day that vaping is like the most dangerous thing in the world.
But
I think
until
that might
then,
be coming.
It's putting water into your lungs.
It's not.
It's not good for you.
It can't be good.
It's not a free pass, is it? Definitely not a free pass. I mean, they're struggling to find what it is, but it's not a free pass. But everyone's like, they can't find anything. It tastes so good. Like, it's
a
just...
Robocop cigarette that tastes like raspberry.
There's got to be something not right about it.
They are so fucking addictive. I smoked when I was young, and quitting smoking was easy because I was just like, it's disgusting. I wasn't as addicted as some people. When I have ended up vaping, do you remember over Christmas I was vaping? The fucking strength of will it takes to get rid of vaping, because it's not disgusting. Yeah. It tastes like raspberries in air.
Yeah, you don't get that after. You get if you get like a pink lemonade one, it's like, and also this is, and I probably shouldn't tell people this, but fuck it, they don't set off smoke alarms on flights, so you can smoke them in the toilet.
They set off smoke alarms in hot water though. apparently, airplanes are less fucking sensitive.
I was there when it happened.
And hot water is so...
When I was in hot water once, someone vaped and set the alarms off, so I had to evacuate mid-set. And then on the way out, he was vaping in the corridor, and I was like, this is you stupid cunt. Turn it off. He's like, oh, right, yeah.
But it tastes like raspberries. When you smoke and you're going off it, like,
Wait, whoa. Right, okay. I mean, whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
Hey.
Whoa.
Draymond's here.
Whoa! Let me try and understand something.
Go on.
It's not smoke that comes out of a vape, is it?
No, it's vapor.
So why is that setting off a smoke detector?
I don't know, Spinty.
Yeah.
Good question.
I think you need to take this up with the companies that
something molecular. I must say
smoke detectors.
I don't think even smoke alarms are like perfect technology. It's really just like it's something to do with some kind of the size of a.
Something changes in the air.
Yeah, molecule or something. Yeah, something changes in the air and it can go off.
Atmosphere, also sexual tension.
Sexual tension.
Woo. Yeah.
So if you and a woman are under a smoke alarm,
or a man,
you and a man,
okay. Fucking disgusting,
and you're looking at him thinking
pansexual,
or a non-binary person, Dan. If we're going to include everyone,
yeah.
All right, Dane.
So
You bender.
you and a non-binary homosexual are stood in front of each other, and there's only tension, so you haven't said it, but you're thinking, I'd love to suck his bumhole, and he's like, I'd love him to just suck my bumhole. So there's tension there.
He's like, I want to use his face for a futon sofa.
Yeah.
What would that position be called?
What?
You can't at the same time.
The Capri Sun without a straw.
I like that. It should be called that.
How does he think of it that quickly?
The food is good.
A Capri Sun without a straw.
You got your book there.
There you go.
Yeah, it's in there. It's page 1.
I wanna
Drawn
see
in
Dane's.
crayon.
What's
By
Dane's?
hand.
A Capri bum, if you will.
Yeah, a Capri bum.
Capri bum. There
What's
you go.
Dane's move? Have you got the book?
I know. I
gotta move.
I just have a thing about Jeff Northcott being a Tory. What's your birthday?
My birthday is the 3rd of September.
I don't. We used to have a positions book, but it's gone, and now it's been replaced with an air conditioning manual.
That's fine.
And I don't think it's going to end up being a social media clip.
There it is.
Hey.
What's your birthday? So this is
3rd of
the
September.
sex position of the day.
Oh, cool. Oh, is that
So-
from the More magazine used to do? For
I'm
young
not
girls
sure, we
who
just got
are
sent
as
it in
young
the
as 14
post.
and 15.
CBeebies magazine.
So
Things
the
have
day my
changed.
nan
Things have
died
changed.
was the 27th of December, and that was called the Everything's Gonna Be Alright.
Oh.
It wasn't.
What's your
The
birthday?
position of the day? 3rd of September.
September number 3.
Oh, it's the institutional racism.
Typical.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? It's called the breast exam.
Oh.
The
Just
breast,
a little squeeze of a tit.
the breast exam. Because nothing gets a lady moister than calling a position after checking for lumps.
What's she holding on
Sexy
to there?
lumps. A pull-up bar that she's fucking handcuffed to.
My job is just to interrupt, to go to accost a woman at the gym
Yeah,
and interrupt a workout.
yeah,
I
mean-
might graciously decline that one.
yeah. You'd assume that permission's been asked.
How are you guys in terms of boobs? Is that a point of attraction for you? Or
Have you got boobs
I'm a
in your
boob
lifetime?
man.
are you,
I'm
you're-
a boob man, yeah.
I like
boob
them.
man.
I prefer a bum.
Me too. I like a.
My wife's boobs are about to pay £60,000. So
They're going
she.
to pay out 60,000.
Did you hear about the story about the old?
You know, like a fruit machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If you get 3 nipples,
I'm
She pays
I'm
out.
Keep trying.
Basically, Dan's missus, one of her tits exploded, but it was someone else's fault.
honestly, it's
say-
spot on.
How
It's dangerously abridged.
Like an implant exploded.
Yeah.
Oh, on a where?
She's one of the thousands of ladies that just
the P-
found
oh,
out
the
after 8 years of. Yeah.
PIP implant. Yeah. Oh shit. She okay though, right?
I mean, she wasn't when the tit
the time,
exploded.
yeah.
Then she got a new
She was
tit.
at the tilling, has
Yeah.
there? Everywhere.
Oh shit. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did it? But
No, she didn't like. Sorry, love.
But she is.
Clean up on aisle 4. This woman's tit's gone.
But she is okay.
She's great.
And how are you doing?
I'm going to be £60,000 better off soon. Well, love them did it. She's using part of the money to get the implants taken out, which is a difficult thing, isn't it?
That's what I'm asking. I don't
You're
give a fuck
getting
about the
paid.
money. How do you feel about the breast changing, Dan? That's what we all want to know.
She getting smaller boobs
Just getting the implants taken out.
and then new ones put back in.
I don't think so.
Oh,
So
trouble in paradise.
are we on a public episode? Okay, good. I just reminded me.
Why don't they just pump tits up when they want them bigger?
I would love to just press that button and just literally like the end of The Sopranos. Everyone would be watching the episode. What? How did that end then?
You know what I mean? Why you know, like a football pump?
What's the end
Why
of
don't
it
they
though?
just stick it in, just go. Surely they're just like.
I think they can do that sometimes. Like they go via the armpit.
Yeah.
But I
Why
think
do
it
you
varies.
need a
So
thing?
you said your wife had PIP before, right? Because that was like the classic one they had before, and I think they've moved on to like that was like the early silicone, but now they've got like the saline, which is more like. I guess.
And if you did it with
fluidy and more
helium,
booby.
it'd be floaty tits. Yeah. It'd be great.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
There might be other problems though.
But yeah, if you walk through a bramble bush, where's Laura? Like a fucking balloon that you've let go of.
I've only heard of one guy getting pectoral implants. I think that he was on Big Brother or something. But
Oh, I know what you mean. The one that look like Ken.
yeah. But
I'd be tempted to get bicep ones.
did your missus have
I can't wait for that.
Did your missus have breast implants? Has she had augmentation when you met her?
She was 19,
Yeah.
and her mum took a picture of her the night before the boob job, as if because it wasn't a I want to be a stripper, mama wants some teddy. It was she was she just didn't have much boob, and
Listen,
her
she wanted
gran
to- she
gave
wanted
her
to
the
have
money.
augmentation, that's all that
And my
matters.
wife has got a bootay, so she was all bootay and no tate, and it wasn't because she wanted. It, like,
So
if
she
you
wa-
met Laura, she doesn't get him out or anything. Like, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm not meeting her, have you?
she's an upstanding lady.
All right. Nice to meet you.
And let me tell you
yeah.
something, Dan. If she did, I would greet her in the same way I'd greet any one of my friends and colleagues, partners.
Right.
If I met your missus and she took the titties out, like maybe a nice little bar between the in the nipple,
This is Dane.
she'd be, and I would be like, absolute pleasure to meet you. In the same way.
So she's having them taken out, and that means there will be a last night of my wife's big boobs. And
Did
I
they give
don't
you them
know.
to take home?
No,
Or
I
did they put them in the bin?
don't think that's going to be the enjoyment of it. Like, let's go to bed. I'll bring you boobs.
No,
Where are they? In this drawer. Motorboating myself.
no, but couldn't you like put them on the mantelpiece?
Yeah. Next to Grandad.
Wouldn't that be?
Nana, Grandad, and your two tits.
Here's a better question, Dan. Now your house is on fire. Which one do you save?
That's a good question.
There you go. The ashes or the titties?
Yeah. I'd probably go to dinner.
What if the
gonna
house
be
is
a
on
sad
fire?
night,
Well,
yeah.
surely that's not going to really damage the ashes anymore.
True, yeah. I'll come back for you.
They're still going to be
That's true.
like they've already been through. It's been through that.
That's true. Yeah. So they're pretty much flame resistant, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
The last thing you should save from a house fire is the ashes of a relative.
That's true.
Yeah, but if you then, after the house fire has died down and the fire, you're going to be like, let's go and get Nana and Grandad, and you'll have a bit of
Who are
IKEA
these
furniture,
people?
yeah. Bit of carpet, goldfish.
So Dan, was your granddad actually cremated?
Yeah, my mum was cremated, my Nana and Grandad. Yeah, we're
so
from a family of burners.
So you keep the ashes.
Fuck me, I hope none of my loved ones watch this episode.
No, Dan,
Family of
if you were a Rastafarian, that would be more than appropriate to say.
Really?
So don't even worry about it. Yeah. Exactly. So you go. It's all good.
But he isn't.
Yeah, but it could also be.
Hey.
But they could also be a family of meth heads. So they could also be a family of meth addicts.
How,
So
how dare you assume that my family's not Rastafari?
I think.
I couldn't even say it properly, so that's probably a giveaway. Rastafari.
I
Wish
think
Isham was here.
you are literally the opposite of a Rastafarian.
Yeah. Absolutely.
you're the yang to the yin that is. I disagree, Dan. I disagree.
My
But
granddad
I
was
fit it in Norway.
my granddad was cremated. They played "You'll Never Walk Alone" while it was burning.
Hack.
Yeah,
Scouse hack that.
yeah. And his nephew, who's an Everton fan, wore a Liverpool top, especially because he was like, I might be an Everton fan, but Vinny's dead.
That is love.
So,
Yeah.
And-
If you're wearing a football kit to a funeral, have a fucking word. It's in the bag. Not even this season's kit. Yeah, 06, 07. Fucking sorry.
They cope how they cope, Dan.
My ma is buried, and my nan's buried. They share a grave. They've got the same fucking cubbyhole.
I think it's interesting that because it's interesting because of like obviously you guys you believe in burial rights for somebody, but maybe not in an afterlife. So that's why I was asking, like,
I believe in an afterlife.
you believe in an afterlife.
I don't have a religion that I follow, but
Yeah.
I'm quite open-minded to the
Yeah.
idea of there being a beyond. But, yeah, what were you laughing about? My mum and my nan sharing a cupboard.
I don't know. I just love. Sometimes I have these.
There's room for one more as well.
In a relationship, sometimes nothing's happened, and you look at your missus and you go, I fucking love you. Sometimes when I look over at him, he's like, yeah, my mum and my are both buried to the same spot. I'm like,
The question is, why isn't your granddad in the old?
No. Who's top bunk?
What?
I
No, side by side.
Is it?
no.
I don't know.
Oh, they stacked them on top of each other.
Who's top bunk then?
Well, my nan was buried first, so I assume she's bottom.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they go, let's get Kathy out, and then we'll put Anne in, and then... I don't think they do that. So I think they just put
like oven trays.
and then it's like the last 10 minutes
So
of the
there's
pizza
another
while you're
bunk
putting the
left.
chips in. Wow.
There's another bunk left.
There's one bunk left.
Who are you thinking? Who's on the short list?
I mean, it's...
That's too close to asking Adam, who are you going to kill in your family next? Who's next? Well, I'll say you pisses me off.
I imagined it would be me granddad, but we've burnt him now. So it's not him.
Too late.
Yeah.
Was that
put him
was
in.
that at a funeral? Or
Burnt sounds so much worse than cremated.
he's
doesn't
been
it?
a right knob.
Burnt sounds so much worse than cremated. It's you just did it until he died. It was like, next time, have my money.
How much is a fucking funeral? Right, Davey, get the fucking petrol. Lad.
Yeah.
You could
Here
fit
you
him
go,
in.
granddad.
I could fit in there.
No, you could fit him in.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I don't really know where he is. I don't know where they've. I think he wanted to be scattered on Anfield. But I don't know whether we ever got round to doing it.
They allow it, do they?
Yeah.
I think they do.
No, they definitely stopped it.
They stopped it.
Yeah.
No, but they didn't.
But can they really stop it?
Yeah.
Like if you
Like in Shawshank. like in
Shawshank.
Shawshank. Adam's just walking around and like fucking.
I could
get
definitely see
grenade.
people doing that at
if you
Anfield.
get enough of a run up and just launch it over the main stand.
I could definitely
That's
see
a
people.
big
Can everyone stop
definitely
throwing
do
the
that.
granddad's ashes on the pitch, thank you?
Not like during a match. I mean, just go down on a Tuesday and throw it over.
Right.
Do you not
It's
think?
disrespectful if you miss, innit?
Why?
And he just like hits the side and just scatters.
But then he'll be on the wall forever.
Yeah, he would, yeah.
Yeah, the Kenny Dalglish.
Where do you want to be scattered,
Yeah,
Adam?
Oh.
Kenny.
Envy.
Kenny. Jurgen. Grandad. Oh no, that's bird shit. Sorry. I thought that was my granddad.
Circle of
Where
life.
do I want to be?
Where do you
scattered?
want to be scattered?
I don't want to be burned because I'm worried that like
Yeah.
you've got to preserve your body as best you can for the afterlife, like just
Yeah.
in case. I don't want to die and get to heaven and God will be like, you're just a pile of ash.
Referencing
Sweep that up.
Dane's tattoos, Adam wants to be mummified. Yeah.
That's
No,
what
I
they tried
don't
to
want to
do.
be mummified, but I want to be buried because I feel like, you just never know.
You do.
You don't.
You're dead.
What if you turn up
You're
at the
rotting
pearly gates
in
and
the
you're a
ground.
big pile of ash and God's just like, Peter, get the brush, lad. Get rid of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That's a
feel
good
like-
point,
I feel-
isn't it?
I
How'd
feel-
you go to heaven?
I feel like
How you were.
I feel like there's about 6 million Jews who dealt with the same dilemma.
To be fair, they weren't getting in the pearly gates anyway, were they?
Oh my
To be fair.
days!
Were they? They got the wrong gym membership there, kid.
No, they can get to the pearly gates. Old Testament is still Yahweh is still the same God.
Maybe.
Jesus was a Jew. So what you're saying
they
is
ignored
Jesus
it.
isn't
They
up
ignored an iPhone update.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
I don't know, but
I
we
don't really know
we
what's going on
decided to throw relatives, my wife, and the whole of Judaism under the bus right at the end.
Yep.
Got fun
Nah, it
though, didn't it?
wasn't-
Another beer.
Yeah, I don't want to be cremated just in case anything like that's happening. Do you know what I
I
mean?
know.
I'd rather get there and be like, look, lad, didn't burn myself.
You'd be a dead good zombie.
Uh-huh.
Just 6 weeks of being dead, you'd be fucking king zombie. Oh, Army of the Dead on Netflix.
How is it?
Fucking good fun zombie film.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. I was like watching it going, is it #1 in the UK? Gave it a watch, and the first 10 minutes is a bit scatty. They've had a little think about zombie movies and gone, how can we make this a touch more interesting? I'm just saying, if you've not watched it yet, give Army of the Dead a go.
More interesting.
They've done like, I don't know. You know, like how there's the Terminator and then T-1000?
Yeah, there's like
They've
different
done that
scales
with
of
zombies,
There's like
and they've
fighting
like-
zombies and there's like dogs, like canine zombies.
Oh my God, there's a tiger zombie.
How
It's
do you-
good. It's good fun.
How do you feel about the zombie genre in general, though? How do you guys
I
like
think
it?
it's a good laugh.
Good laugh. I like it. I think the more recent zombie films, it's kind of propaganda. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Propaganda?
With films. Yeah, I'm a conspiracy theorist with films. So like with zombies as we see them, the modern zombie was created by the filmmaker George Romero, right? So like I think it's like Land of the Dead and like Night of the Living Dead. He made all of those films, and their films are all supposed to be satire about the idea that the zombies represent the proletariat, like the working class and us, and they're seeking a higher state of consciousness. That's why they're always going brains. And apparently, like,
Wow.
I think one of the films is, I want to say it's The Land of the Dead, where the leader of the zombies is a black dude, which is supposed to be representing like the downtrodden in America. And they finally work out how to like cross the sea and stuff because they're like separated by the rich by a body of water. But I was like, in another one of his films, the reason why, I think it's the remake one, but it's The Dawn of the Dead, when it takes place in a shopping mall
Yeah.
when they're on top of the roof. And that was made because it represents the fact that Americans as zombies, when they're mindless, always go towards retail.
Oh yeah, the subtext. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the subtext of it. So the Romero zombie is supposed to be like the base for like loads of zombies and stuff. And
Dane,
then,
I'm not joking. You make me feel so thick. This is your insight into zombie films and all this hidden meaning and subtext. And I was just like, "There's a tiger zombie."
no, but it's cool.
It's good because like there's like zombies and then dead good zombies. And one the tiger. And there's a zombie riding the zombie horse.
That's cool.
What does it signify, Dan? Tigers are dead good.
When they're good, and then when they're dead, they're good and all.
Yeah, they're real good.
Yes. But it's like even zombies now, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like this idea that like this nondescript group of human beings are like running towards people and you could just be like mowing them down and shit. I'm like, I just like, are they supposed to be like asylum seekers and stuff? Because it's a weird thing where it's like, like,
Mate,
remember World
brutal.
War Z happened in like Israel and shit as well. Like
World War Z, there was even a wall.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's this idea where we dehumanize a large contingent of a population. And if you think about it, like when you cross a border after traveling from Guatemala to Texas, you go look like.
See, Dane, here's the thing, Dane. Right, you've been one of the best guests we've ever had, and I mean that.
Thank
I
you.
really do mean that. Right, and every time I speak to you, every time, whether it's in a green room, this podcast when we used to do Quotes as Full, I always learn something. But you are too intelligent and you know too much stuff, and it ruins everything for me.
Not a zombie film.
Me too. I don't like being like this, guys. You think I don't want to watch all 9 Fast and Furious films and not think about shit? I wanna. I really wanna. Have you seen Fast and Furious? It's like racially diverse. There's cars, women who are equally empowered in some of them. And I'm just like, yeah, I want to do this. And then Jason Statham flies for a windscreen and continues fighting. And I'm like,
How are you with Disney films?
I'm good with Disney films.
Like talking animals is alright. Yeah.
About Pocahontas, that's
No.
yeah.
No.
It was a very good film.
It's been a pleasure. Where can we find you, Dane?
You can find me on all good socials, Dane Baptiste. So please add me on your good socials and find out some more content and clips there. YouTube channel as well. And I also have a podcast, which is Dane Baptiste Questions Everything.
And it's a really
which is
fucking
my
great
nature.
podcast.
It's very fun. And so please do check that out. And also, I have a pilot on the BBC. It's called Bamus. It may never progress to more than a pilot, but I don't really worry about that kind of stuff. I just like making good shit. So please do check it out.
Famous.
It's called Bamus. It's on the BBC iPlayer. Please do check it out and leave some good feedback just to rub it in their face. And yeah, man. And hopefully I'll catch you guys at gigs, man. Just doing the thing, man. When we get back out there, man.
mate.
At the beginning of our revolution.
Thank you very, very, very much.
Sign up to the Patreon, lids.
Please
If you've
do,
not
guys.
done it already, fuck
Please
me,
do,
we've
guys.
got a
Love
good
this
one.
shit, man. And I love what you guys are doing, man. And, you know, returning the power back to the creative and stuff like that as well. The next war will be for human consciousness, guys. I'm fucking serious, man. Hug your loved ones and live well.
Fuck the campfire.
And fuck the campfire. That's right.